A massive pillar of blinding dark energy just erased an unbeatable dungeon boss from existence in a single hit. The highest-ranking professional hunters are literally kissing the floor in shock, wondering what kind of legendary god just saved their lives. But if you look closely, the person who cast that devastating spell is not a master. He is just a one-star student that his entire academy calls trash. How did the weakest kid in school secretly become a world-ending threat? Let us go back to his awakening day to find out. Welcome to the world of Blue Star, where the school bell does not just signal lunch, it signals your destiny. We are at the Hunter School, the place where every kid dreams of leveling up from zero to hero. And of course, we start with the classic bully trope. This dude is laughing like he just heard the best joke ever, asking our protagonist if he is finally ready to quit. Joke's on him though, because Junho is too busy securing the bag in his mobile game. Victory pops up on the screen and the bully tries to play it off like he lost on purpose. Yeah, sure buddy, whatever helps you sleep at night. The bully decides he has had enough of the disrespect and delivers a swift chop to Junho's head. Poor guy cannot even enjoy his win in peace. Enter the school goddess Ha Yunseo. She has got the looks, the gear, and a serious lack of patience for Junho's gaming addiction during exam season. Junho gives her the classic excuse that he was just taking a break. He is 18, has not awakened yet, and is already settling for being a one-star commoner. Talk about low expectations. He tells Yunseo he is just going to ride her coattails for an easy life since she is a 5-star prodigy. It is a solid strategy if you do not mind the ego hit. Yunseo is absolutely not having it and gives him a painful pinch for the suggestion. Honestly, he probably deserved that one. The onlookers are absolutely losing it. The goddess is back for special training and everyone is wondering why she is hanging out with a loser like Junho. They are childhood friends from the same orphanage, which just fuels the gossip fire. The jealousy in the air is thick enough to cut with a sword. The students call him the famous piece of trash. Rough crowd. They are mocking him for being almost 20 and still unawakened. Junho just takes the hits and keeps walking. If only they knew what was coming for him. A quick world-building moment here. It is the 2025 National Hunter Awakening Exam. This is the day people turn 16 and get a chance to gain special powers. Basically the SATs, but with magic and monsters. The teacher is up there giving the standard "your future starts now" speech. Half these kids are just wishing they had rolled a high-tier class already. Junho looks at the stage, feeling the weight of his 3 previous failures. He is the legendary senior who just cannot catch a break. The awakening crystal is glowing at the center of the test site. This giant rock decides if you are going to be a hero or just a guy who works at the magic grocery store. Students are debating the best classes like mage's strength types and agility. Everyone wants the jackpot healer class because everyone loves a support who can keep them alive. The examiner calls for 3rd year class 2, Junho. Here we go. The man, the myth, the 3-time failure is up. The crowd erupts in laughter immediately. They are treating his entrance like a comedy special. The whispers are brutal, calling him dead weight. Imagine having your entire reputation based on a lucky roll you have not made yet. Ms. Yojin, the examiner, tries to be nice. She tells him not to be nervous, but you can tell even she is a bit skeptical. Junho approaches the massive crystal. This is it. 4th time is the charm right. He places his hand on the cold surface and takes a deep breath. The tension is real. The crystal starts to react, vibrating with a low hum. Something is actually happening this time. A bright blue glow starts to emanate from the stone. The crowd goes quiet for a split second. Ms. Yojin announces it is a magic type. The students behind her start snickering because magic is cool, but is it Junho cool? The system notification pops up in front of Junho's eyes. Time to see if he is a god or a scrub. 1-star awakening with the skill Mud Snare. Well, it is better than nothing, I guess, but barely. Ms. Yojin gives him the pity look. She knows a 1-star magic class is basically the lowest of the low. The entire school is dying of laughter. One kid screams that he thought there would be a twist. Seriously, the disrespect is off the charts. Junho is just standing there in shock. He finally awakened, but it is the weakest possible result. Ms. Yojin calls his name to snap him out of it. He is completely dazed. She thinks the shock hit him too hard. To be fair, failing for years just to get a 1-star rating is a massive loss. He walks away through the mocking crowd, clutching his head. He just wanted to be something more. He gets handed his gear, which is just a basic wooden staff. It looks more like a fancy walking stick than a weapon. But then, everything changes. A digital glitch ripples through his vision, notifying him that system activation conditions are fulfilled. Wait, what? A second system window pops up. This is not part of the normal awakening process. Junho is looking around like he is seeing ghosts. The system informs him that activation was successful. He just obtained 2 passive skills, Source of Darkness and Mysterious Gift. Now we are talking. Source of Darkness lets him use dark magic without paying a price. Dark magic is usually the top-tier evil villain stuff. Junho is starting to wonder what he has actually gotten himself into. The system is not done. His pathetic mud snare skill is being forcefully changed. He wonders what that is supposed to mean. The skill has corrupted into rotten shell. From mud to rot, he is definitely moving up in the world of spooky magic. Junho feels disgustingly sticky magic swirling around him. He knows this feels sketchy as hell. If anyone finds out he is using the forbidden arts, he is toast. Time for the field test. Groups of 50 are being sent into a dungeon to fight monsters. It is the final exam, and Junho is trying to act natural. The rules are simple, with no teaming up and drones watching everything. Junho realizes he cannot use his new dark powers or he will be labeled a villain immediately. He is sweating bullets. He knows if someone finds out, he will be in serious trouble. Using demon magic in a hero school is usually a one-way ticket to prison. The portal to the dungeon opens, revealing a massive vortex of purple energy. It is time for the piece of trash to show what a one-star can or cannot do. He steps into the light, leaving the real world behind. Inside the dungeon, it is a lush forest, but the peace is short-lived. You can hear the sounds of combat in the distance. Students are already clashing with goblins. It is chaos. Swords clashing and spells flying as everyone tries to get that high score. Goblins are popping out of the woodwork. They might be low level, but they are still ugly and mean. Meanwhile, Junho is doing his best impression of a bush. He is hiding while everyone else does the heavy lifting. He is trapped. He cannot use his only skill because the drones are everywhere. He's looking for an opening, but it is not looking good. The drones are hovering right above him, their mechanical hum filling the air. He is literally being monitored around the clock. Back at the command center, the instructors are watching the feeds. They spot Junho just sitting there and are not impressed. Ms. Yojin tries to defend him, saying he is weak and awakened late, but the other instructor just wants to kick him out already. He claims a one-star cannot become a proper hunter anyway. Ouch, the man has no chill. Suddenly, the screens go haywire. The drone feed just cuts off out of nowhere. Everyone's jaw is on the floor. A surveillance alarm blares through the room. They have detected a massive surge of power way above the dungeon's average level. This is not a drill. On the ground, a destroyed drone lies smoking. Something powerful just swatted it out of the sky like a fly. A student is shaking in his boots as a massive shadow looms over him. Something big has entered the chat. Meet the Goblin Vanguard. This guy did not skip leg day or claw day. He looks like he eats 1-stars for breakfast. The boss gives a speech about how goblins will never be slaves again. I did not know these guys were unionizing. He roars, calling his brethren to arms. The power coming off this guy is insane. A drone tries to zoom in for a better look, but the Vanguard is way ahead of it. With one swift punch, the Goblin boss turns the high-tech drone into scrap metal. More drones go down. The Vanguard is systematically blinding the instructors. Talk about a pro gamer move. Junho is right there watching the whole thing go down from the bushes. He is terrified, but he is also thinking. He watches the last drone fall. He is putting the pieces together and wondering why the drone fell out of the sky. He looks at his hands and then back at the boss. The fear is there, but so is a spark of something else. He peers through the leaves. The Goblin Vanguard is busy being an absolute menace to the other students. The boss turns his head and spots Junho, calling him a little rat hiding in the bushes. Busted. The Vanguard charges, but Junho has a realization. He notices that there are not any drones left to watch him. A sinister smile spreads across his face. His eyes start to glow with a dark violet light. He knows this is his chance to finally test whether dark magic is real. He raises his hand and purple energy begins to spiral around his fingertips. The air itself feels heavy. The Goblin Vanguard stops in his tracks. He can feel the shift in power. Something is not right here. The boss narrows his eyes. He was expecting a rat, but he just found a monster. Junho unleashes it. A massive eruption of dark magic floods the area, twisting shadows into terrifying shapes. Back at base, the instructors are having a full-blown panic attack. They detect a monarch-class monster. They think a literal god of death just showed up in their training dungeon. The Goblin Vanguard is absolutely horrified. He stutters in fear, staring into the abyss while the abyss stares right back. The dark magic grips the boss, tearing at his form with shadowy claws. It is a total one-sided beatdown. Junho is mesmerized by his own power. He admits it is so disgustingly sticky that it makes him kinda queasy. Well, at least he is honest about it. A barrage of system notifications flood his screen. Overwhelming power of darkness and world-shaking magic. Yeah, I think the 1-star rating might have been a mistake. The Goblin Vanguard is being erased from existence. He cannot even fight back against this level of corruption. The boss begs him to stay back with his pride completely shattered. He went from revolutionary leader to terrified victim in about 10 seconds. The final blow lands and the Vanguard is toast. A notification pops up that he defeated the Vanguard for plus 8,000 EXP. Junho just jumped about 50 levels in one go. Junho is staring at his level up screen like it is a winning lottery ticket. Level 12 already. Killing that boss gave him a massive boost compared to those weak goblins. He knows the grind is far from over though. Fodder monsters are not going to cut it anymore, so he needs to hunt more elites if he wants to stay ahead of the curve. Check out the loot. The Vanguard did not just drop EXP, he left behind some glowing orange items that look way too expensive for a tutorial dungeon. Junho's eyes are practically sparkling as he realizes he found orange-grade rarity. He did not just find gear, he hit the jackpot. First up is the Vanguard's badge. It is an epic-grade consumable that permanently increases speed. Permanent stat boosts are basically the holy grail of any RPG. Then there are the Butcher's Knuckles, another epic drop with a level 20 requirement. Junho knows he cannot use them yet, but he can definitely see the crystal signs attached to them. He is already planning his retirement fund, thinking he can finally become rich. Honestly, I would be doing the same thing if I just hit the jackpot in a dungeon. The celebration is cut short by a system-wide announcement. All examinees are ordered to stop the test and use their teleport scrolls immediately. Something has clearly gone wrong. Junho looks back at the dissipating shadows of his dark magic. He knows the something wrong is probably him. If the teachers saw that power he is in for a long interrogation, he activates a teleport scroll and a swirling vortex of energy begins to envelope him. It is time to bail before the high-level hunters show up to investigate. He is standing in the middle of the magic circle looking totally innocent. He knows if someone sees this, he is dead, so he needs to get out of there now. All over the dungeon, students are disappearing in pillars of light. The Monarch class scare definitely put an end to the testing festivities. Junho lands back at the base camp, trying his best to look like a confused one-star student. The instructor is yelling at everyone to head straight home. The lead instructor looks like he's aged 10 years in 5 minutes. He is ordering a full lockdown because he is convinced a world-ending threat just spawned in a student test site. He is sweating buckets, worrying that even with everyone combined, they might not be able to win against a monarch. Little does he know the monarch is just a teenager with a wooden staff. Suddenly, his face goes pale as he realizes the source of that dark power vanished. He is looking around like he is waiting for a jump scare. He panics, wondering if that thing got out of the test site. The panic is reaching a boiling point. They think the monster is roaming free in the city now. Ms. Yojin is on the phone, likely reporting the disaster to the higher-ups. She tells the instructors to keep it quiet to avoid a mass panic, but they are activating the sealing circle just in case. Junho approaches her, trying to play it cool. He stammers a bit, doing a great job acting like he is just another victim of the chaos. Ms. Yojin looks genuinely worried and asks if he is okay. She still thinks he is the same weak kid who barely managed to awaken earlier today. He gives her a thumb up and says he is fine. She tells him to get going before things get even crazier. Later that day, the school is on high alert. Yunseo and Junho are walking home through a quiet neighborhood, but you can feel the tension in the air. Yunseo looks at him with those concerned childhood friend eyes. She thinks he is just traumatized because the test cut short. Junho is just side-eyeing her in his head. She thinks he is shaken by the elite monster that he just turned into a puddle. He is definitely not the one who is shaken here. Yunseo tries to be supportive and offers to let him join her guild tomorrow. She knows his one-star defensive magic is useless for solo hunting, so she wants to carry him. Junho hits her with a hard pass. He prefers the solo life mostly because he cannot exactly practice his dark magic while a 5-star prodigy is watching him. He imagines himself walking around with purple flames, laughing like a maniac. Yeah, that definitely would not fly in a party. Yunseo is not taking no for an answer. She basically orders him to be at the West Gate by 8 in the morning with no excuses. She walks off, leaving him standing there. She has got that boss energy that you just cannot argue with. Junho is left in the dust, looking like his soul just left his body. He is screaming internally that he told her he wanted to go alone. He is having a minor breakdown, wondering if he should fake a stomachache to get out of it. We have all been there. Suddenly, a light bulb goes off. He thinks he has a plan that just might work, and it probably involves a lot of shopping. Next stop is the Central Exchange. This is the place where hunters buy, sell, and trade their way to the top. It looks like a high-end mall for people who fight dragons. Junho's plan is simple. If he can buy gear that has a mud snare skill attached, he can use his real magic and just pretend it is coming from the equipment. Smart move. He heads inside, looking a bit out of place in his hoodie. Everyone else looks like they are ready for war, and he is just there for a budget-friendly cover-up. The receptionist greets him with a professional smile, asking how she can help. Little does she know, she is about to deal with the most unusual customer of the day. Junho asks for any gear that has mud snare on it. Weapons or accessories, he does not care. He just needs a believable alibi for his spells. The lady looks at him with pity, stating there is no need to buy low-tier magic like that right after awakening. She is basically calling his build trash to his face. Junho tries to explain he needs something he can use right now, but she is already checked out. She calls for a rookie to take over the low-level customer. She walks away complaining that she wasted her breath explaining things to a rookie. Talk about a bad attitude. Someone is about to miss out on a massive commission. Enter Yang Seol-A, the rookie assistant. She is way nicer and introduces herself with a genuine smile. This is the exact win moment Junho needed. Seol-A takes him to the gear section. There are sword staves and armor glowing with all sorts of enchantments. It is like a candy store for hunters. Junho tests out some gauntlets, seeing how they feel. He is looking for something discreet that will not raise eyebrows when he is casting his dark spells. He checks out a ring and asks Seol-A for her opinion. She thinks it is nice and thanks him for the help. They are getting along way better than he did with the first lady. Once the shopping is done, Junho asks where he can sell some loot. Seol-A leads him to the back office, completely unprepared for what is in his pockets. The boss of the shop is sitting there looking like he has not slept in 3 days. He gives them a weary sigh to come in. They are in the appraisal and consignment sale room. This is where the real money moves. Junho pulls out the butcher's knuckles from earlier. The room suddenly feels a lot more expensive, and the boss's eyes go wide. The boss activates his appraise skill. He is impressed. It is a high-level epic item with perfect stats for beginners and 3 open slots. It is a rare find. Junho is just grinning in the corner as the boss asks how much he wants for it. Junho's answer is just as much as possible. My man. The boss tells him to sit tight. He has a specific customer in mind who has been looking for a weapon just like this. He tells Seol-A to handle the front while he makes a call. He is on the phone with a Mr. Jang pitching the knuckles as the perfect gift for his son. Meanwhile, Junho is enjoying some high-quality tea with Seol-A. The trade goes through instantly. You can practically hear the cha-ching in the air as the crystals are transferred to Junho's account. The item sold for 50,000 crystals, leaving Junho with 46,000 after fees. He's looking at the screen like he just won the lottery. 50,000. Junho's brain just rebooted. He went from a broke student to having more money than most hunters make in a year. He is not leaving yet though. Now that he is flush with cash, he tells Seol-A he has a few more pieces of gear he wants to buy. He is going from budget build to whale status. Out in the hall, the other assistants are gossiping about how handsome the new kid is. They are way too shallow for their own good. The first receptionist sees Junho walking out with the boss himself. She is totally confused why the big boss is personally escorting a rookie. She overhears that he just sold gear for 50,000 and is now on a shopping spree. Her coworkers are laughing at her for passing up such a huge incentive. The realization hits her like a truck. She is having a full-blown mental breakdown in the middle of the lobby. She screams about her lost incentive at the top of her lungs while Junho just walks past, completely oblivious to her pain. Seol-A walks him to the door, telling him to get home safe and to contact her directly next time. She just secured a loyal, high-spending client. She gives him a polite bow as he leaves. Junho is feeling pretty good about himself. He has got the money, the gear, and the plan. The next day, Junho is out in the field whistling a happy tune. He is geared up and ready to test out his new equipment. He is testing the fake skills attached to his gear. They do not conflict with his dark system at all. Now he can go all out without worrying about being exposed. He spots Yunseo across the plaza and waves her down. Time to start the guild training. Yunseo turns around looking as elegant as ever. She has been waiting for him to show up. She's not alone though. A whole group of high-level hunters is standing behind her. There is a warrior, a mage, and some others who look like they mean business. Check out the berserker. He has red hair, a scar, and a massive axe. He looks like he eats 1 stars for breakfast and does not even use milk. Then there is the priest. Pink hair, glowing staff, and probably the only person keeping this group of hotheads alive. Yunseo introduces her guild members. Junho gives a polite hello, but you can tell he is feeling the pressure of standing in front of actual pros. The guild members are staring him down with some serious, "Who is this scrub?" energy. The atmosphere is absolutely freezing. Junho is sweating, wondering why they are looking at him like he killed their family. He realizes that being Yunseo's trash friend is not going to win him any points here. One of the guys, Jo Sun-hoon, asks Yunseo about her upcoming second-class advancement. He is clearly trying to show off how much he knows about her. Junho is thinking about how fast geniuses level up. Yunseo is already almost level 60. That is insane. He has some serious catching up to do. Sun-gun pulls out a green bottle with a flourish, mentioning he wanted to get her a little something. He is definitely trying to buy her affection. It is a high-grade speed potion, epic rarity with a permanent +3 speed boost. That is an incredibly valuable item for any high-level hunter. The berserker and priest are impressed. They know how expensive and rare those potions are. Sun-kun is really laying it on thick. He casually mentions it only cost about 20,000 crystals, claiming it is not about the money while clearly making it about the money. Yunseo is not impressed. She tells him she will pass and that he should keep it. Junho is just watching the drama unfold, feeling like a background character. Sung-hoon is acting all cool, telling Yunseo they have stuff to do and should get going first. He is totally ignoring Junho like he does not even exist. But of course, he cannot leave without one last dig. He points back at Junho and asks Yunseo why she is wasting her time helping trash like him. Yunseo snaps immediately. She tells Sung-hoon to watch his mouth, and you can see the fire in her eyes. Messing with her childhood friend is a one-way ticket to her bad side. Sung-hoon just smirks, doubling down on his arrogance. He claims it is just a fact that 1 stars are bottom feeders for life. Man, this guy really loves the sound of his own voice. Junho is just standing there with a deadpan expression, wondering who this clown even is. He is seriously contemplating drowning the guy in dark magic just to get some peace and quiet. Sun-kun is still running his mouth telling the priestess to back off. He is so focused on being a jerk that he does not see Junho's smug face forming in the background. He laughs, saying a trash one-star like Junho could never afford a permanent stat potion in his entire life. Oh buddy, you have no idea who you are talking to. Junho just yawns and mocks Sun-kun for acting so high and mighty over a measly +3 stat boost. Sun-kun's veins are practically popping out of his head now. The guild's warrior steps and calling Junho out for bluffing. They are so sure he is penniless that they are practically begging for a bet. Sun-kun demands that Junho get on his knees and apologize once he's proven wrong. This dude is really digging his own grave here. Junho reaches into his pocket and pulls out the Vanguard badge. The air suddenly gets heavy as the golden light starts to blind everyone. Yunseo's jaw hits the floor. It is an epic grade Vanguard badge that gives a permanent +10 speed. That is more than triple what Sung-hoon was flexing. The guild members are having a collective stroke. They cannot believe a 1-star is just casually holding an item that is basically considered a national treasure. Junho hits them with the most disrespectful look in history. He tells them they will see if it is broken once they try it. Talk about a power move. He hands the badge to Yunseo, telling her he just found it lying around at home. Yeah, sure, just casual billionaire things. The guild members are screaming at her to use it immediately. They are more excited about the loot than she is. Yunseo activates the badge and a massive pillar of golden light erupts around her. You can feel the power level rising from here. The guild is blinded by the flash and Sung-hoon looks like he just saw a ghost. His ego is officially in the gutter. Yunseo is glowing with excitement, feeling her stats skyrocket. She is officially a tier above everyone else now. The guys are in total denial. They are literally accusing Junho of stealing it because there is no way a loser could have something that rare. Junho just cleans out his ear, totally unbothered. He tells them to quit whining and smack their foreheads on the ground loud enough for him to hear. And there it is. Sung-hoon is actually on his knees with his head down, taking the ultimate walk of shame in front of his whole guild. Junho stands tall looking down at the broken man. This is the peak of petty satisfaction, and I am totally here for it. Junho decides he is done with the circus and heads off. Yunseo catches up looking guilty for how her teammates acted. She apologizes, saying she should not have forced him to join the group. Junho is chill about it, but he is definitely done with the guild drama. He tells her to focus on her own advancement. He knows he cannot practice his real magic with her hovering over him all day. Yunseo looks a bit hurt, but she understands. She is a 5-star prodigy, so she's got a lot on her plate too. She pulls out a present to try and make up for the Sun-hoon incident. It is a set of purple tier skill books. Even Junho is a bit surprised. She is really trying to pay him back for that badge. Junho notes they look expensive, but Yunseo just says they are nothing compared to the gift he gave her. He takes the books with a smile. Free loot is the best loot. Next stop is the gloomy graveyard. They arrive at the dungeon entrance. It is a creepy gothic graveyard filled with ravens and bad vibes. Perfect place for a 1-star mage to farm. Immediately, zombies start crawling out of the dirt. They look like they have not had a snack in decades. Yunseo does not even break a sweat blasting through them with her high-speed bow attacks. She is a literal blur on the battlefield, tearing through skeletons like they are made of wet paper. Junho is just in the back, cheering her on, getting free EXP without even lifting a finger. Life is good. He checks his stats and sees he is level 15 already. He knows he cannot keep leeching forever if he wants to use his real skills. Suddenly, Yunseo gets a call on her magic comms. Someone spotted a boss. The priestess is on the other end, sounding panicked. A corrupted Lich is about to spawn in the center of the dungeon. The priestess asks if Yunseo is coming. This is a rare chance for some high-level magic loot. Sun-hoon is in the background, already drooling over the potential drops. He is desperate to get back in Yunseo's good graces. Yunseo looks at Junho, hesitant to leave him behind in a graveyard filled with undead. Junho tells her to go for it. He insists he is fine and practically pushes her out the door so she can get that boss EXP. She tells him to wait in the safe zone until she gets back. She really does care about this guy, even if he is secretly a Dark Lord. Yunseo takes off like a rocket, leaving Junho in a cloud of dust. Junho gives her a cheeky wink as she leaves with the most suspicious face ever. The second she is out of sight, his expression shifts. He is finally alone, and it is time for the real show to begin. He pulls out those purple skill books she gave him. He learned 2 extra skills yesterday, and he is ready to put them to work. He stands alone in the dark graveyard as shadows begin to swirl around his feet. The atmosphere just got 10 times more intense. He checks his passive skill, Mysterious Gift. Once per week, he can use all dark magic for free. This is basically a cheat code. He decides it is time to skip the line and head straight for the boss. Since he can use everything for free, he figures the more skills he has, the better. His skill tree is looking spicy. He is unlocking Dark Dash and Dark Magic. The 1-star commoner is officially gone. In the distance, the corrupted Lich is already starting to manifest. It is a massive skeleton king draped in shadows. Another party of hunters spots Yunseo's guild racing toward the tower. They are shocked at how fast Yunseo is moving now. Yunseo's bow is glowing with fire as she blasts a path through the skeletons. She is a one-woman army. The other hunters cannot believe their eyes. That Vanguard badge was the best investment ever. Junho is watching them from the shadows wearing a hood. He overhears that the Lion of Purge Guild is among the top in the country. He watches them struggle through the skeleton horde. They are fast, but they are still playing by the rules. Sunghoon is trying to keep up, but he is clearly lagging behind Yunseo's new speed. It is hilarious to watch. Junho turns his back on them and looks toward the high-difficulty tower where the boss spawns. He decides to clear his own path. He activates his new spatial magic. A purple rift opens up behind him, crackling with dark energy. In an instant, he teleports right into the heart of the tower thanks to his dark magic spatial skills. He lands perfectly in the boss room. A notification pops up that Dark Dash is acquired. The room is filled with swirling black smoke and red light. It looks like a heavy metal album cover. The corrupted Lich is fully formed now, a skeletal titan with a crown of bone. He looks like he is having a very bad day. The Lich roars, sensing an intruder. He is used to dealing with parties of 50, not one guy in a hoodie. Junho just waves at him casually. The disrespect is reaching astronomical levels. The Lich is absolutely insulted that an arrogant adventurer dared to come here alone. Junho just sighs. He does not have time for the villain monologue. The Lich's eyes glow with a hellish red light. He's about to unleash a massive spell, but Junho is already charging up. Dark magic erupts from Junho's body, swirling into a massive vortex that dwarfs the Lich power. Junho's face is hidden in the shadows with a wicked grin showing. He just does not feel like sharing the loot. He unleashes a barrage of dark projectiles. The Lich does not even have time to scream. The Lich tries to block, but the dark magic just eats through his defenses like acid. A massive explosion rocks the tower as the Lich is obliterated. The smoke clears and the Lich is nothing but dust. Junho is just standing there looking like he did not even break a sweat. Notifications flood the screen for a cool 35,000 EXP. This kid is leveling up like he is using cheat codes. Level 30 reached. He can finally take his first class advancement. This is the moment we have all been waiting for. Loot is raining from the sky. Lich's badge, magic pendants, rare materials. It is a literal mountain of gold. He checks the Lich's badge. It is an epic grid consumable that boosts HP and willpower permanently. Another jackpot. Junho starts absorbing the materials. He is like a vacuum for power-ups. The system detects the special badge and offers him a choice. This is where things get really interesting. He realizes this badge is the key to unlocking a hidden job. Most people have to quest for years for this, and he just got it as a drop. The choices are Spectral Shaman or the hidden quest for God of all attribute magic. I think we all know which one our boy is going for. Outside, Yunseo's guild feels the massive magical surge from the tower. They stop dead in their tracks. Sunghoon looks like he is about to wet himself from the sudden surge of magical power. The guild leader orders a retreat. They think the monarch is back and they are absolutely not equipped for that fight. Yunseo is looking at the tower, terrified for Junho. She thinks he is still in the safe zone that just became ground zero. Sunghoon is yelling at her to move, but she is frozen, desperately needing to warn Junho. She tries to send him a message, but the connection is jammed. She is having a full panic attack now. Junho is already at the advancement center miles away. He is taking the stairs 2 at a time, looking like he just finished a morning jog. The center is deserted because of the monarch alert. It is the perfect time to sneak in a hidden class change. A scientist lady with glasses is sitting at the desk, looking totally bored despite the world ending outside. Junho approaches her trying to look like a normal student. She barely looks up from her computer. She asks for his name and info first. He tells her he is a 1-star mage, and she gives him a skeptical look. She assumes he is not exactly a natural since he is just taking his first advancement at 18. If only she knew. She leads him to the advancement chamber. He enters the room filled with floating crystals. She tells him to operate it according to procedure while she waits outside. The scientist is waiting outside when a high-ranking hunter in armor rushes in. Something is very wrong. The hunter tells her they found Monarch-class energy in the graveyard dungeon. 2 Monarch-class incidents in just 2 days. The administration is losing their minds, realizing there is a wild card in their city. The administrator looks serious. Because of this chaos, the higher-ups have officially summoned the Shadow. Junho is looking at the ultimate high-risk, high-reward choice. He skips the Spectral Shaman and goes straight for the God of all attribute magic quest. It is an S-rank nightmare, but our boy is not here to play safe. He locks it in, accepting his new life as a jobless class for now. A few extra steps to godhood is totally worth it for the permanent gains later on. The sound of his boots hitting the pavement echoes through the empty halls. He is walking out of that center as a completely different man than the loser who walked in. He cannot help but smirk to himself. An S-rank quest right out of the gate would terrify most people, but Junho is just calculating how much loot he is going to stack in 3 days. He gives a casual wave to the lady at the desk on his way out. She is all smiles, but Junho's main character instinct is tingling. Something feels off. He realizes she is not the same person who checked him in earlier. Did everyone just swap shifts, or is something fishy going on? Meanwhile, back at the gloomy graveyard, the atmosphere has gone from spooky to an actual nightmare. The dungeon entrance is literally pulsing with dark energy. A mysterious figure stands in the wreckage, surveying the damage Junho left behind. Even the official investigators are keeping their distance from this one. The investigation team is whispering about the Shadow. Apparently, this group is so classified that even mentioning their name is a breach of protocol. These guys look like they mean business. A team of elite tier hunters has arrived to figure out what kind of monster could have wiped out a Lich so easily. The lead investigator adjusts her glasses as her face turns pale. The lingering power of darkness here is so strong it is actually giving her a headache. She is a high-level authority figure, but even she looks rattled. Whatever Junho did in there has officially put him on the government's radar. The team moves deeper into the dungeon, finding nothing but ash and silence. The monster that did this vanished the second the job was done. They are starting to suspect this was not just a freak dungeon mutation. Reports of strange phenomena have been popping up everywhere lately. The boss lady decides she cannot handle this on her own. She's calling for reinforcements from headquarters because this is way above her pay grade. The agents are debating if it was a monster or something even worse, a mutant human. The idea itself sounds like a death sentence. She looks down, deep in thought. If a human really is wielding this much dark power, the entire balance of the world is about to break. She notes that a fragile human body should not be able to handle this level of power. It is supposed to burn you from the inside out. Her partner looks equally worried. If it is not a human, then a monster just walked right past their security and disappeared into the city. They declare they have to track it down as soon as possible. Little do they know the monster is currently relaxing in his pajamas. Back at his place, Junho is finally relaxing. He is a total homebody, feeling safest in the small, dark corners of his apartment. He decides it is time to use the loot. He cracks open the skill books Yunseo gave him, and the system immediately starts merging them with his dark magic. Arcane Shield merges with Rotten Shell to create a new passive called Corrupted Blessing. Now, any hit he takes just gets absorbed by his dark aura. His hand glows with a soft blue light as the new passive settles in. Regular attacks will not even scratch him anymore. Talk about a massive defensive upgrade. He is feeling pretty smug about it. Combining low-tier spells with his dark energy to create custom skills is a total game-changer. Next up is the other book. He is on a roll today, and the system is eager to hand out more power-ups. He acquires Elemental Mastery Earth, granting a 20% boost to all Earth attribute effects. It is a solid foundation for his future builds. He checks his skill tree and realizes he still has plenty of empty slots. Time for another shopping trip to the exchange to fill those up. The central exchange stands tall in the city skyline. It is the only place he can get the high-tier books he needs to truly break the game. Junho walks in like he owns the place. He's got the cash, the power, and he is definitely not taking any more disrespect. The meme receptionist from last time spots him immediately. Her eyes light up like she just saw a walking paycheck. She rushes over with her fakest customer service smile, trying to intercept him before he finds Seal A. Gonma, Junho does not even look at her. He asks for Seal A, and when she says she is busy, he just walks right past her. He tells her he will just look around on his own. The rejection is cold, and the receptionist looks like her entire world just shattered. She is fuming that he actually turned her down. Some people really cannot handle being ignored. Junho finds the section he likes and starts browsing. He is looking for something specific, and he does not need a pushy salesperson breathing down his neck. The clicking of high heels approaches fast. Someone is in a serious hurry to meet him. CLA slides into view, breathless but happy to see him. She actually cares about her customers, which is why Junho only deals with her. She apologizes for making him wait, explaining she was in the middle of a meal. She rushed over the second she heard his name. Junho feels bad for dragging her out and offers to wait, but she is insistent. She even offers to treat him to a meal later to make up for it. He shows her the books he wants to sell. He is upgrading his entire arsenal today, trading in the old stuff for fresh mage skills. They are back in the boss's office. The old man looks like he is trying to figure out where Junho is getting all this high-end gear. The boss is staring him down, clearly interested in making Junho a regular. Having a supplier this consistent is a dream for a shop like this. Later that night, the two of them are sharing a quiet meal. It is a rare moment of peace for Junho before things go south. The bill comes, and Junho tries to be a gentleman, but Seal beat him to it. She already settled the check when he was not looking. Junho is confused, but she just brushes it off with a smile. She says she has her reasons for buying, so he does not need to worry about it. She pushes him toward the door, telling him to hurry up and go. She is acting a bit strange, like she is in a rush to be somewhere else. Junho watches her hail a taxi. He gets the feeling she is hiding something, but he lets it slide for now. Inside the taxi, Seol-A tells the driver to head to the city hospital. Her face is full of worry, so something personal is definitely going on. She thinks about someone in a hospital bed, likely her father. She's been working so hard to pay for his medical bills. A single tear rolls down her cheek as she tries to stay positive, hoping everything will be okay. The taxi window shatters into a million pieces, a sudden attack out of nowhere. The car flips and skids across the pavement in a shower of sparks. It is total chaos on a street that is supposed to be a safe zone. Seol-A is in total shock. She cannot believe a monster just bypassed the city's magical barriers. Outside, shadow monsters are swarming the streets, tearing through the cars and attacking innocent civilians. It is a massacre in progress. Her hand trembles as she tries to open the jammed car door. She is trapped in a metal coffin while the world burns outside. She manages to crawl out of the wreckage with her clothes torn and her body bruised. She is lucky to be alive, but the danger is just starting. An explosion rocks the street, sending her flying. She hits the ground hard as more shadows close in. The terror is written all over her face as she wonders how a monster showed up in a safe zone. The shadow creatures loom over her with their red eyes glowing with hunger. Seol-A is pinned down and there is no one left to protect her. High above the city, a massive blue and black portal rips open the sky. It looks like the end of the world is officially beginning. A wicked grin appears in the center of the rift. Someone is coming through and they have got a skull pendant that looks way too much like the one Junho just found. The city is officially under siege. A massive explosion ripples through the air as the first wave of monsters makes contact. Seol-A is reaching out, desperate for help. She is cornered by a beast that looks like it stepped right out of a nightmare. The monster lunges with jaws wide. Seol-A can only scream as death comes calling. A silver-armored hunter drops from the heavens, and his blade meets the monster's claws in a shower of sparks. He stands firm as a literal wall of steel between the girl and the beast, asking if she is all right. But the victory is short-lived. A thick red corruption starts spreading through the streets like a virus. The area is already compromised. The dungeon has not just opened, it is merging with reality. This is uncharted territory, and for a one-star hunter, it is a death sentence. An agent stares at the aftermath as the scale of the destruction finally hits home. The higher-ups were right to panic. Something powerful has appeared, and nobody knows when the next catastrophe will strike. A shadow moves faster than the eye can follow. Before the agent can even blink, he's in the crosshairs. The impact sends him flying through a brick wall like he is made of paper. The power level here is completely off the charts. He struggles to his feet with blood dripping down his face, wondering if his attacker is a mutant. The attacker reveals himself as a hulking figure with a twisted, shadowy limb. He is looking at the agent like he is just a snack. He calls himself Chosen. The agent has never heard that term before, but he does not have time for a vocabulary lesson. He draws his blade and lunges, desperate to find an opening. The mutant does not even dodge. He just slams the agent into the pavement with enough force to cause a mini earthquake. The agent is barely conscious. He realizes this guy is at least 3rd advancement level, which is way beyond anything he can handle. The mutant raises a finger with dark energy coalescing around the tip, claiming this is his domain. He starts to channel a massive blast while the air around him crackles with malicious intent. He bellows that the human is no match for him, preparing to erase the agent from existence. The agent prepares for the end, but the killing blow never comes. Instead, a massive impact craters the ground right next to them. The shockwave alone is enough to send the mutant reeling. Close up on the mutant's face in absolute shock. He was not the only big fish in the pond today. A terrifying figure emerges from the smoke. The mutant drops to his knees, immediately apologizing. Guess there is always a bigger shark. A massive portal of absolute darkness rips open in the sky. Something ancient and hungry is pushing through. Space itself starts to crack under the pressure. The sound of reality breaking is enough to make your ears bleed. A tide of shadowy monsters pours out of the rift with their eyes glowing with a hellish red light. A voice booms across the city, cold and merciless, demanding that every human be offered as a sacrifice. The mutant bows his head, trembling in obedience. He has gone from predator to servant in the blink of an eye. Cut to a curtain being pulled back. Someone is about to enter the stage. Junho walks out of a public restroom looking like he just finished a business meeting. Talk about bad timing. He takes one look at the wreckage outside and his jaw hits the floor. He went to the bathroom for 5 minutes and the world ended. The hallway is a disaster zone. Bodies everywhere, debris scattered, and a very hungry-looking monster waiting for him. A shadow creature stands over its latest victim, its teeth dripping with ichor. The monster turns its glowing red eyes toward the new arrival. Junho's lunch break is officially over. It roars and lunges at him with terrifying speed. An explosion of dust fills the hallway as the monster makes contact. The ground is shattered, but Junho is not there. He's standing several feet away, completely calm. A system message pops up that spectral mastery has been acquired. Guess he is learning on the fly. He stands in the doorway with his eyes narrowed. It is time to show these monsters why they should have stayed in the basement. He surveys the room looking for any other threats. He is not a scared kid anymore. He is a hunter. The mutant from earlier steps out of the shadows calling him a lucky little rat. He clearly did not learn his lesson from the last guy. He swings a massive dark claw aiming to tear Junho in half. Junho does not even flinch. He catches the massive limb with one hand as the ground cracks under his feet from the sheer force. The mutant's jaw drops in pure shock. He is staring at Junho like he is seeing a god. Dark energy starts to leak from Junho's body, swirling around him in a violet vortex. Junho's grip tightens and bone starts to creak under his hand. He is done playing nice. A massive demonic face looms behind the mutant as a manifestation of the power of darkness. The fear in the mutant's eyes is delicious. Junho is surrounded by intense purple energy and demonic eyes. This is getting serious. He contemplates whether he should go all out, realizing this guy is not an ordinary opponent. Those purple eyes are back. He's made his decision. He lets it rip. A massive pillar of dark energy consumes the room, blasting upwards through the ceiling. The mutant is absolutely terrified as realization hits him like a freight train. He's begging for mercy, but it is too late. The power surge is so intense, it can be seen from outside the building, cutting through the rainy night like a beacon of death. Our boy is looking like a straight-up boss in that new gear. Obtaining a darkness-type hidden job during an awakening is straight-up main character energy. While everyone else is struggling, this mutant is standing over the bodies of hunters like they are nothing. The power gap is actually insane. This hunter looks like he's about to pop a blood vessel from the rage. Honestly, I would be mad too if I was getting soloed by a guy with one dark arm. Junho just stands there casually watching the aftermath. He is taking notes on the fight, probably figuring out how to loot everything without getting caught. He knows he cannot linger. He realizes he needs to grab the loot and get out of here before anyone shows up. Spoken like a true gamer. The scene shifts to the city hospital under the gray, rainy sky. Things are about to get a lot more complicated for our undercover legend. The monsters are finally retreating, and the dungeon incursion is cooling down. Everyone is taking a breather, but the tension is still thick enough to cut with a sword. The lead investigator is looking through her glasses like she is trying to solve a 5,000-piece puzzle. She knows something does not add up about how that fight ended. The ninja hunter reports that most areas are fine, but the Songnam party took some heavy losses. These monsters were not playing around. She orders her team to go take a look at the Songnam zone. She is not letting a single detail slip through the cracks. We see 2 hunters on the scene, and one looks completely drained. This dungeon break really took its toll on the front line. Meet Yoon Do-young. He is looking all mysterious and powerful, staring off into the distance like he is in a cologne commercial. The investigators are moving through the wreckage. The level of destruction is just wild. This was not your average Tuesday. Do-young pulls out an ID badge telling everyone to relax because he is from Illusion. Oh great, another secret group to keep track of. A close-up of a legendary-looking shield. Illusion is that unofficial group made up of elite fighters. Yeah, these guys are the real deal. The lead investigator is skeptical, but Do-young just keeps that cool guy act up. He knows he has got the upper hand here. She asks what brings a shadow operative like him out into the light. Usually guys like this stay hidden until the end of the world. Do-young just gives her a grim look. He is not here for small talk. He is here because things are about to get much worse. He points out that the mutant used to be one of them. Talk about a betrayal. He dragged the dungeon into reality just to help the monsters. The investigator realizes that is exactly what happened here. The dungeon break only stopped because this guy was taken down. Do-young asks if it was them who took the mutant out. She has to admit they have no clue who the mystery hero is. He is annoyed because he has tried to pin this guy down several times, but he always slips away. Looks like our boy has a new rival. She mentions that Master Joe Kanyuk's team was almost wiped out even though he's a 3rd advancement pro. Someone did not just kill the mutant, they made it look easy. The realization hits her hard. Is there really someone that strong hiding in this city, and if so, whose side are they on? She asks Do-young where he is going. He's already walking away, saying he needs to go look for something, probably his pride. Back at Junho's home, the night is quiet. You would not think the city's savior lives in a standard apartment like this. Junho is absolutely losing it with joy, celebrating the epic grade fighter set he just looted. Christmas came early this year. He pulls up the stats. Epic grade armor and boots. He knows he's way too low level to use them properly yet, but just having them is a massive flex. He's looking at his hands thinking about the mutant. If that guy had been stronger, Junho might have actually had to try. Talk about being overpowered. Then he pulls out the prize, a glowing pendant that looks absolutely terrifying with an unknown rarity and completely hidden stats. Oh, this is the good stuff. The system just lists it as an unidentified accessory. No stats, no description, just pure mystery. Junho is poking at it like it is a weird bug, wondering if there is an ancient god sealed inside this thing. A close-up of the pendant. It is a skull with glowing eyes. Yeah, Junho, it definitely looks like there is a demon in there. He gets a weird feeling from it, like it is staring back at him. This thing is definitely not just a piece of jewelry. Suddenly, the scene shifts to a dark throne room. A massive figure is sitting there, surrounded by his creepy subordinates. The figure is glowing with a sinister light, looking like the final boss of a game that is way too hard. His little minions are shaking in their boots. They can feel their master's rage even from across the room. The boss is furious that the connection was cut. He knows someone interfered with his plans, and he is not happy about it. One of the lackeys is sweating bullets, terrified of how the human managed to sense him. The city hospital stands tall. This place is becoming the hub for all the injured hunters and secret meetings. Jo Kongyuk is bandaged from head to toe, looking like a mummy. He tells the investigator that a young fighter is the one who saved them. Flashback to the fight. A mysterious figure with a glowing sword stands over the fallen hunters. It looked like a miracle. Kangyuk admits he could tell the stranger was way stronger than him. That is a big ego hit for a pro. The investigator and the man in the suit discuss the mystery hero, assuming he's an unregistered hunter for now. She notes that they did not find anything strange besides traces of normal magic. Junho is really good at covering his tracks. Kongyuk just sighs, saying it would be reassuring to know someone that strong lives in their city if they just knew who it was. The man in the suit thinks it might be a stretch, but he has a theory forming. These government types always have a theory. He mentions traces of the power of darkness were found at the scene, connecting the dots to that first dungeon incident. He wonders if the mysterious person is also a mutant. The room goes quiet because that would be a worst-case scenario. He thinks the mystery man used destructive magic but made sure no civilians were hurt. It is a very weird profile for a monster. The investigator thinks the theory is ridiculous. A mutant hero is going a bit too far even for her. She shakes her head, trying to clear the thought. It is too crazy to be true, right? Junho is walking down the hall of a government building looking as normal as can be. Nobody suspects the one-star mage. He pops his head into an office with a bright smile, asking if it is okay to go in for his advancement quest. Look at that innocent face. He's out here playing everyone for fools while holding a literal god pendant in his pocket. Total win. We are at the Sanctum of Radiance, and this place looks like a high-end luxury resort for gods. Too bad the neighborhood is absolute trash. Junho is just standing there taking it all in, looking like a tourist who wandered into the wrong side of town. Check the background because there is a shadow stalking our boy. Looks like Do Young from Illusion is playing detective again. He looks way too intense for a stalker. He's determined to figure out what Junho is hiding, but he is in for a very confusing day. Flashback time. A few days ago at the Central Exchange where Junho made his first fortune. Do Young is at the counter, and of course the mean receptionist is all over him, thinking she finally hooked a big fish. Boss Wang comes out to personally shake hands. Do Young is looking to buy a 4th advancement fighter set, which is basically the price of a small island. The receptionist is already calculating her commission in her head, thinking she can retire early. Boss Wang mentions that a regular just called to sell a 4th advancement set. My man Junho is out here controlling the entire market. Do Young is interested and asks where this regular customer is. He probably wants to buy direct and skip the middleman. Boss Wang just laughs it off, saying the guy is busy today. Junho is out here ghosting the biggest shop in the city like a legend. Do Young is thinking about his master's legacy, convinced that 4th advancement set is a key piece of his history. He demands to know where the regular is offering to pay for the info. He is literally throwing money at Boss Wang for a lead on our boy. Boss Wang is sweating buckets. He realizes that Junho is way more than just a lucky 1-star student. Do Young is done waiting. He walks out of the office, probably going to use some of that illusion magic to track Junho down. He exits the building with a determined look. The chase is officially on. Boss Wang is having a full-blown crisis, realizing his background check on Junho was completely worthless. He reads the stats showing ordinary parents and a late awakening. He knows the math just is not mathing. The receptionist is in shock too. She thought he looked broke at a glance, and now she is realizing she might have snubbed a hidden dragon. She tries to rationalize it, but you can see the regret in her eyes. They are wondering where all the high-level loot came from. They suspect a secret sponsor, but Yunseo's family never gave him a dime. The mystery is eating them alive. Do Young's client is not going to be happy if they find out the gear was stolen or shady. Boss Wang looks like he is about to lose his mind, realizing he picked the wrong person to mess with. The receptionist thinks it will be fun to watch if the gear is stolen. Some people just want to watch the world burn. Back to the present. Junho is trekking through a rocky valley toward the floating castle. The terrain looks brutal. Do Young is watching from the cliffs. He still cannot believe a rookie is strolling through a dungeon that even his master struggled in. Junho is just walking along totally unbothered. He knows he's being followed, but he is playing it cool for the camera. He arrives at the front of the sanctum. Other hunters are already there, clashing with monsters in a full-on war zone. Junho starts to glow with that signature blue energy, getting ready to clear the area his way. He swaps his gear, putting on the ordinary one-star equipment to maintain his cover. Do-young is unimpressed, thinking the disguise is way too ordinary, and to be fair, it totally is. He suspects Junho is a student who has not even graduated yet, trying to figure out the trick behind the trash stats. Do-young's eye glows green as he activates Mystic Mark. He is tagging Junho so he can track him anywhere in the dungeon. The mark lands on Junho's back, completely invisible. Do-young is confident the target will not notice. Famous last words. Junho keeps walking into a tunnel heading deeper into the sanctum where the real bosses play. The hallway is long and dark, giving off that classic final boss walk vibe. He reaches a massive chamber and looks up. Something big is about to happen. A flash of blue light ripples through the room as something tries to take a swing at him. Do-young is shocked, seeing an attack that should have turned a 1-star into paste, but Junho is still standing. It is absolute defense. Do-young realizes Junho has a shield that is supposed to be unbreakable. Main character armor is real. Junho just keeps walking through the barrage of attacks like a Terminator made of low-tier mage gear. His boots hit the stone with a steady clack. He is not even rushing, and the confidence is terrifying. He stops in front of a giant ancient statue that looks like it has been there for millennia. Close up on the statue's face, it looks stern, judgmental, and maybe even a little sweaty. Do-young thinks the statue is strange because it is not moving, which in a dungeon usually means it is waiting to crush you. Junho just walks right past it without even giving the giant stone guy a second look. He stops and looks back, knowing exactly where the boss is hiding. A floating suit of angel-like armor manifests in the air. This is the real guardian of the sanctum. The armor is magnificent, all white and gold with massive wings, looking like a final boss from a different game. Its eyes glow with a hellish orange light. It is definitely not a friendly angel. The guardian roars and lunges with its wings flapping with enough force to create a localized hurricane. Junho looks up, and for the first time, he looks actually interested. The hunt is on. Do-young looks like he is about to have a heart attack, convinced that Junho is doomed. Junho's eyes glow with a fierce purple light as he drops the act and lets the dark magic flow. Do-young is already mourning him, panicking that he has nowhere to run. He is way too dramatic for a pro. Lightning crackles around the castle tower as the sky responds to the sheer amount of magical energy being released. The angel guardian descends as a blur of golden light, aiming to end the intruder. Junho raises his hand toward the sky with fingers splayed about to delete this boss from existence. Purple lightning spirals around his arm, connecting to a massive rift in the sky. He casts Thunderfall, calling down a giant demonic eye in the clouds that glares down at the world. A massive pillar of blinding energy erupts from that giant eye in the sky, threatening to incinerate everything below. This is basically the delete button for anyone caught in the crossfire. Junho stands tall, commanding the absolute thunder. He is not just some lucky kid anymore, he is literally commanding the wrath of the heavens. The dust finally settles, and Junho really did a number on this place. The entire tower is looking like a pile of expensive scrap metal after that lightning strike. Do-young is practically kissing the floor in shock after witnessing a power level that should not even exist in this tutorial zone. The stone structures are crumbling like wet sand. It is official, our boy is a walking disaster zone for anything made of brick and mortar. Do-young is having a full-blown existential crisis, wondering if he just stumbled upon a legendary 8th advancement pro. Meanwhile, Junho is just standing there like he is watching a sunset. He has hit his level cap for now, so clearing more mobs is just a waste of his precious time. He has got the goods though, with the sacred badge secured. Time to head back and turn in this quest before the government starts asking too many questions. Look at those stats with epic rarity, a permanent willpower boost, and a 100% increase to recovery effects. This is not just gear, it is a cheat code for immortality. Junho is ready to dip, pulling out a teleport scroll. But wait, Do-young is rushing him from the side, not letting this mystery man just vanish into thin air. Junho is sweating bullets, wondering when he got there and if he saw everything. His secret identity as a god-tier mage is hanging by a thread right now. Do-young stops right in front of him, looking way too intense. This guy clearly has some words he wants to share, and they do not look like congratulations. Do-young is basically begging for a chat, telling Junho to calm down and hear him out first. Bro, you are the one who needs to chill. Suddenly, a loud alarm blares through the dungeon. Guess the local security finally realized someone just nuked their boss. Junho keeps it short and sweet, suggesting they talk outside. He is not trying to get caught by a SWAT team while explaining his dark magic. They take the conversation to a nearby park far away from the smoking crater formerly known as a dungeon. Junho cuts straight to the chase, asking if Do-young was trailing him this whole time. He is not playing around. Do-young apologizes, admitting he just could not believe a kid this young had that kind of power until he saw it with his own eyes. He starts reminiscing about his master who sacrificed his life against a dungeon break. Do-young is seeing that same level of strength in Junho. Junho is having an internal panic attack, realizing Do-young is a 4th advancement pro who was completely invisible to him. If he did not reveal himself, Junho would be totally exposed. Do-young sees that look in Junho's eyes and starts sweating, thinking our boy is contemplating a no-witnesses policy. Relax, man, he is just a student. Do-young is officially on the bandwagon, begging Junho to help his former teacher. He will do anything if Junho agrees. Junho realizes having a high-level stalker might actually be useful. He tells Do-young that what happened today stays between them with no snitching. Do-young agrees, instantly promising not to breathe a word of this to anyone. Guess Junho just got himself a legendary tier lackey. Do-young is genuinely impressed, thinking Junho used his power specifically to protect the city. If only he knew the loot was the real motivator. They part ways, but Junho is left wondering what kind of weirdo he just befriended. Just as he is walking away, his phone starts buzzing. It is probably his boss, wondering why he is late for his shift. Nope, it is Ms. Yojin. Junho answers, trying to sound as normal as possible while standing next to a dead boss's loot. Ms. Yojin is calling him, looking a bit relieved because she has been worrying about him since the dungeon alert went out. Junho is wondering what the urgent news is that she wants to talk about. Cut to a high-tech office. Ms. Yojin is sitting with the lead administrator, who is looking all business and no chill. Yojin tells the boss that Junho sounded fine and will be back soon, really sticking her neck out for him. The administrator is not buying it. A student who awakened 3 days ago is already playing at first advancement levels. That is not talent, that is suspicious. Yojin defends him, saying he is just a kind, hard-working kid she trusts. She really sees the best in people, which might be a problem later. The administrator's eyes narrow, stating that suspicious things need to be checked. She is not letting this go until she uncovers the truth. She is on a call with headquarters, asking them to keep a close eye on this case. The hunt for the mystery mage is officially going national. A stern older man with epic gray hair is listening on the other end. This guy looks like he has seen 1,000 dungeon breaks and lived to tell the tale. The administrator looks at him expectantly, waiting for his final word on the matter. She throws out a wild theory, asking if the 2 destructive spells could have been the work of a mutant. The room goes cold. The entire council is silent. Mentioning mutants in this building is like saying Voldemort's name at Hogwarts. The old man calls her out, pointing out that So-Yeon is a mutant herself. Talk about an awkward family dinner. He explains that mutants have a high price for using dark magic, as it eats their life force and turns them into mindless monsters. It is not a sustainable hero build. So-Yeon stands her ground, saying a monarch-class mutant is something that should not even exist. Another man in blue armor laughs it off, calling it a nostalgic fairy tale. This guy is way too confident for someone who is about to be proven wrong. So Ayan is frustrated, stating she is just considering every possibility. Whether they accept it or not, something is definitely out there. The blue-armored jerk keeps mocking her, saying she talks pretty but has failed to find anything. What a charmer. He makes a bold claim that if a monarch-class mutant actually shows up, he will put his neck on the line. Oh boy, I cannot wait for him to eat those words. The old man ends the bickering, declaring they have already dispatched an investigation team to Jinju City to get the facts. Bad news for So-Yeon though, because headquarters rejected her request for additional support from the Shadow. She is on her own for this one. She takes a deep breath, trying to stay professional, knowing something is coming even if nobody else believes her. Suddenly, a ninja-type agent bursts into the room with new intel. It has got to be about our boy. She reports that the Sanctum of Radiance was just hit by a massive destructive spell. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but the place is a mess. Ms. Yojin's eyes widen, remembering Junho said he would be training at the Sanctum. The pieces are starting to fit together. The administrator confirms it, noting the power levels match the previous incidents perfectly. A wicked smirk spreads across her face as she declares things are getting more and more interesting. Yeah, and things are about to get a lot more dangerous for An Junho. Jinju City is currently a high-tech fortress. A massive blue barrier is wrapping around the entire skyline like some futuristic shield. Junho and Do-young are stuck in the middle of a nervous crowd, wondering if that glowy dome is actually going to hold. The public is in full panic mode, hearing announcements about a first-class barrier being deployed. That basically means the neighborhood is doomed. Junho is having a minor internal crisis, thinking he went a bit too hard with his dark magic earlier and caused the city to crank the alert level to maximum. Way to go, man. Above the city, something massive is trying to force its way through. The barrier is flickering as something heavy claws at the edges. A terrifying demonic face emerges from the darkness, sporting a grin that says he is about to ruin everyone's week. He starts trash-talking the barrier, immediately mocking humans for hiding inside spells. Wow, okay, edgelord. He did not come alone either. A literal tide of smaller, nastier-looking demons is pouring out of the rift behind him. Close up on those claws. This dude is definitely ready to start some trouble. The demon army is fully assembled now, and the street is about to become a very messy crime scene. A massive vortex of dark energy is swirling above the buildings. This is much worse than your average dungeon break. Hunters are starting to show up on the scene, but they look like they have never seen anything this big before. It is chaos in the streets. Those small demons are dropping down and attacking anything that moves. The hunters are totally confused, wondering how the hell these things just walked in while the barrier is still intact. People are trampling each other trying to get away. The city's evacuation plan is officially out the window. Junho and Do-young are just standing there looking like the only two calm people left in the city. Do-young notes that this is similar to what happened in Jinju City yesterday. He is starting to see a pattern. Do-young looks at Junho and asks if they should move and waiting for the boss's command. Junho plays the part of the shocked rookie, wondering aloud who could possibly stop something like that. Nice acting, bro. Do-young gives him a look that says he knows he is bluffing. Junho is sweating, wondering why Do-young is even asking him for permission. Do-young realized it was not a question, it was a test. He is looking very serious now. He turns his back on Junho and starts walking toward the fight, telling him not to worry and to leave it to him. Junho is internally cheering. If Do-young handles this, he can keep his 1-star cover story. The ground shatters as a massive explosion rocks the intersection. The demons are already causing serious property damage. The big demon is just standing there in the fire, laughing like a maniac, enjoying the destruction. A random hunter lunges at him, but the demon just mocks him, looking very unenthusiastic about the competition. He blocks a sword strike with just one arm. The power difference here is just embarrassing. The demon catches the blade and snaps it like a toothpick, clearly bored by the resistance. A massive fire slash cuts through the air, sending another group of hunters flying backwards. Total carnage. The demon is just swatting humans away like they are annoying flies. One hunter is looking at his shattered sword in total despair, realizing they cannot even scratch this monster. The demon yawns, calling it boring and saying he thought there were at least a few strong humans here. He is officially a critic now. Mass panic in the background as the crowd desperately tries to outrun the demons. It is every man for himself. The demon's shadow looms over a cowering civilian as he raises his fist for a final blow. Things are looking grim. He roars that they are all trash without exception, ready to bring the hammer down. A bright flash of light intercepts the attack. Someone finally stepped into the ring. It is Do-young. He is clashing with the demon, and for the first time today, the monster looks actually surprised. The demon grunts in confusion, not expecting a human to be able to push him back. Do-young's eyes are glowing. He tells Junho he knows he does not need protection, but he cannot let them bother him. He is still acting like Junho's bodyguard. He tells Junho to leave this area to him, while Junho internally dies from embarrassment being called sir in front of everyone. The demon smirks, realizing not everyone here is trash. He has finally found a toy to play with. Do-young lands a massive uppercut that sends the demon reeling back. That is some serious martial arts power. The demon is stumbling back with his head snapping to the side from the impact. He looks stunned with his jaw hanging open. Do-young is not playing around. Close-up of the monster with his red eyes wide with shock. He just realized he is not the only apex predator in the city. Do-young is airborne, positioning himself for a follow-up. He is moving with crazy speed. He unleashes a flurry of attacks with blue motion lines zigzagging through the air as he shreds the demon's defenses. The onlookers are losing their minds, wondering what level this guy is. They have realized they are watching a hidden pro in action. Do-young lands with a heavy thud and his stance perfectly poised, looking like a literal god of war. Check out the profile for Yoon Do-young, level 137 arcane martial artist. An S-star hidden job. Yeah, no wonder he is soloing the boss. Junho is trying to keep a straight face, commending him, while a tiny version of him in the corner is doing a full celebration dance. Look at that light show. Junho is standing over the remains of the boss, and the loot drops are literally falling from the sky. This is every gamer's dream right here. Do-young is practically bowing down now, asking if there is anything else he can do. Bro went from a high-level stalker to a loyal butler in record time. Junho gives him a big thumbs up with a grin, assuring him it was perfect. He's really enjoying having an S-ranked martial artist doing all the heavy lifting for him. The bystanders are whispering in the background, unable to believe a powerhouse like Do-young is acting so polite to some random kid. They are convinced Junho must be a secret Chable heir. Junho checks out the boss loot and his eyes nearly pop out. He's holding a pair of glowing orange orbs, which only means top-tier rarity. The crowd is losing it over the orange item, knowing it is worth thousands of crystals. Everyone wants a piece of the action, begging Junho to take them along next time. First big drop is Death Chasing, an epic great agility skill book. Junho already knows he is planning to give it to Yunseo to boost her bow skills even further. Second drop is Demon Bone Shield. This one is pure defensive power, so Junho decides it is going straight to the auction house for a massive payday. Suddenly, a group of official-looking guys in suits approaches them. The mood shifts from loot celebration to government business real quick. It is the city officials coming to pay their respects, thanking the duo for saving the entire city from that dungeon break. Meet Cha Dong-myung, the mayor of Onbyul, with that classic politician look. He's surprised to see fresh faces in his city. Junho plays it cool, saying they were just stopping by for business and got stuck. He is doing a great job acting like he did not just drop a nuke on a boss monster. The mayor is sweating bullets, realizing his guards triggered the alarm. He is terrified he accidentally offended 2 legendary hunters. Junho tells him not to worry about it, saying it is not his fault. He is being surprisingly chill, probably because his pockets are full of high-tier loot. The mayor orders his assistant to bring over a flight scroll as compensation, trying to buy their favor with some seriously expensive travel gear. Junho is impressed because flight scrolls are super rare, especially in a backwater city like this. It is a one-time item for mid-range travel, but it is luxury class. The mayor begs them to stay for a few more days, mentioning that their city's defenses are pretty weak. He's basically trying to hire Junho as a permanent bodyguard. Junho is not having it, stating he has his own matters to take care of. He only has 3 days to finish his S-rank quest, and he is not wasting a second of it. He gives the mayor a cold, dark stare, asking if he looks that free. The mayor looks like he's about to faint from the pressure. The assistant rushes in with the scroll, desperate to make Junho happy, so he does not decide to flatten the rest of the city on his way out. The mayor also hands over a VIP black card from the Central Exchange as a token of thanks. That card is basically a get-anything-for-free pass. Junho's jaw drops, knowing how exclusive those cards are. He is officially a VIP in every sense of the word. He tucks the box away, telling them he will put it to good use while Do-young just watches from the side, looking like a proud dad. The mayor is finally breathing again, thanking goodness he accepted it. He was genuinely worried Junho was going to blow them up for the inconvenience. He makes one last request, asking if Junho will help if the city ever faces danger again. He is really milking the hero angle for all it is worth. Junho gives a small smile, agreeing to lend a hand if he has time. It is a vague maybe, but the mayor treats it like a sworn oath. The whole city staff is cheering that Onbeil's city is safe now. Talk about a morale boost. Time to fly. 2 massive pillars of magical light erupt as the flight scroll is activated. They are airborne, soaring through the clouds at high speeds. This beats taking a taxi any day of the week. They land right in front of the Jinju City Advancement Hall. Junho is here to finally lock in that new job class. Meanwhile, Yunseo's guild is just walking out, totally unaware that their trash friend just flew in over their heads. Yunseo is lagging behind, looking deep in thought. She is definitely stressed about her own advancement quest. She stops and looks up at the sky with her eyes wide after seeing 2 streaks of light fly past at incredible speeds. The light trails are fading as the flyers land. Yunseo is staring at the spot, feeling a weird sense of déjà vu. Sung-hoon notices her stopping and asks what is up. He's always looking for a reason to talk to her, even if he is a total jerk. Yunseo mentions that one of the people who just flew past looked exactly like Junho. She is skeptical, but she knows what she saw. Sung-hoon laughs in her face, saying there is no way a 1-star could afford a flight scroll. Yunseo snaps with her eyes glowing with actual fury, warning him not to say one more bad thing about Junho. She is not in the mood for his garbage today. Sung-hoon is shaking with rage, but he is too scared to push her further, wondering why she is always defending that piece of trash. The guild moves on, and Sung-hoon tries to change the subject by bragging about his A-rank advancement quest. He is such a textbook narcissist. The berserker mentions he just missed out on an S-rank himself. These guys really think they are the main characters of this story. The armored guy tells Sun-kun that an A-rank is enough for top universities to fight over him. They are all puffing their chests out, feeling like elite pros. The priestess turns to Yunseo and asks about her quest. Everyone goes quiet, waiting for the genius to reveal her score. Yunseo is silent with her head bowed. She looks absolutely devastated, which just fuels the gossip fire. The guild members share a look, assuming the worst, that she failed to get a high rank despite her talent. The priestess tries to be supportive by saying, a C rank is not that bad, secretly enjoying the fall of the goddess. Sung-hoon smirks, loving the fact that even genius Ha Yunseo has days like this. It makes him feel superior. He offers to carry her if she falls behind, laying on the condescension so thick you can practically smell it. Yunseo finally stops the suspense and drops a massive bomb on the group. She is not upset because she failed. She is just in shock because she actually rolled an S-rank quest. The entire guild's collective brain just short-circuited, realizing she is light years ahead of them. The priestess asks why she did not just say that earlier. Yunseo explains that her quest feels completely different from anything she has ever heard of. Her quest is not just S-rank. It is a path to unlock a hidden job that literally no one in history has seen before. Total main character behavior right here. Sung-hoon is absolutely losing his mind, screaming about how classes are decided at awakening and that hidden jobs do not just pop up while he is busy throwing a tantrum. Yunseo is just standing there in the advancement circle, surrounded by the glow of pure potential. The system UI is absolute peak fiction. Her standard bowman class is evolving straight into an epic hidden job called Black Shadow. Yunseo is staring at the floating screens like she just found a secret menu at a burger joint. Then it clicks. The Vanguard badge Junho gave her is the key. It was not just a shiny trinket, it was a legendary upgrade ticket. She remembers the confident look on Junho's face, starting to think he is playing 4D chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Decision time. She pumps her fist and thanks Junho in her head as she gets ready to lock in the most broken build in the city. Flashback over. Yunseo explains what happened, and the priestess is horrified that she just confirmed without reading the fine print. Sungun is back on his soapbox, yelling about system errors and ruined lives, really projecting his own mediocrity. Yunseo is not having any of it, telling him it is her life and her choice. She is doing this for the team, but he is too busy being a hater to see it. The rest of the guild is just plain jealous. Who would not want a childhood friend who hands out 5-star hidden jobs like they are candy? Sungun vows to find one of those badges himself, no matter what it costs. Good luck with that, buddy. Meanwhile, the man himself is holding his own legendary prize, the Sacred Badge. Junho is not just carrying people, he is carrying himself to the top. The badge starts to pulse with a warm golden light, and you can practically hear the stat points clicking into place. He steps into his own advancement light. It is a pillar of blue energy that probably has the local authorities wondering if another monster just spawned. Junho is ecstatic, checking his new passive and wondering what fully mastering dark magic actually entails. Do-young is watching from the shadows, like the loyal bodyguard. He is definitely itching for a sparring match later. Check out this new passive free control. It is basically a volume knob for his dark powers, letting him fine-tune the destruction. The scene shifts to a high-rise office building, transitioning from the battlefield to the boardroom. The admin lady is looking through some files with her eyes fixed on something interesting. Her job is basically being a professional busybody. Do-young is shown in a close-up looking stoic. Even among elites, this guy is a cut above the rest. The admin lady notes that Do-young is considered a top-tier fighter, nationally wondering why he is following a rookie with such intense respect. Ms. Yo-jin is leaning back, looking like a total boss. She is the only one who seems to have even a hint of the truth. The two women are discussing the On Junho problem. Yo-jin drops a serious warning to never underestimate him. She truly believes Junho is not their enemy, but she knows he is a wild card that could break the entire system. Junho and Do-young are walking through the city, totally oblivious to the high-level meetings about them. Suddenly, Ms. Yo-jin calls out, looking like she has been looking for him for a while. Junho is caught off guard, hoping to keep his low profile for at least another 5 minutes. Yo-jin is standing tall, with her presence commanding attention here for answers, and not leaving without them. Yo-jin's brain just rebooted, hearing a 4th advancement pro call a student sir. That is enough to break anyone's sanity. Junho tries to laugh it off, saying Do-young is just messing around. It is a pretty weak cover story even for him. Yo-jin is not buying the comedy act, and asks him point blank if he finished his 1st advancement. Junho is sweating like he is in a sauna, trying to figure out how much he can safely reveal without getting arrested. They take the conversation to a park. Junho realizes he cannot hide it forever, and Yo-jin is one of the few people he actually trusts. He finally admits it with a nervous smile, saying things are a bit complicated. That is the understatement of the century, bro. The mood shifts instantly as Yo-jin's face goes cold, asking if he has also been tainted by the power of darkness. Junho is internally screaming, thinking his dark system has been exposed, and his hero days are over before they even started. Yo-jin explains that with the dungeon breaks, more people are being corrupted by dark mana and turning into mutants. Junho puts on his best innocent face, telling her not to worry and that he is definitely not a mutant. Yo-jin pulls out a strange black stone, asking him to undergo a quick test. It is a classic trap, and Junho just walked right into it. She explains that channeling his power into the stone will reveal if there is any darkness hiding in his body. Junho is looking at that stone like it is a live grenade, trying to figure out if he can fake his way through this. Yo-jin is watching his every twitch, sensing his hesitation as her suspicion grows by the second. He gives a nervous laugh, knowing he has to touch it or he will look even more guilty. He reaches out and touches the stone. Blue sparks start to dance across the surface, and the air gets crackly. The stone does not just glow, it literally detonates in a shower of sparks and shards. Junho is blown backwards, looking genuinely shocked. Well, at least he did not have to fake that reaction. Ms. Yo-jin is standing there with her mouth hanging open because she has never seen that happen in her entire career. Junho is rubbing his head, playing the confused rookie role for all it is worth. The scientist lady in the background explains that these mana detection stones are extremely sensitive and the gold standard for spotting mutants. She shows another stone, noting it is just supposed to vibrate when you channel power into it. The logic is simple. More vibration equals more dark mana concentration, but an explosion is off the charts. Ms. Yo-jin is deep in thought, wondering what the hell On Junho is actually carrying inside him if the stone just exploded outright. The dust finally settles, and Ms. Yo-jin is still staring at the pieces of the shattered stone while Junho plays it off as a total accident. Junho gives her his best innocent look, asking her to trust him just a little bit despite his strangely fast advancement. Yojin looks at him, remembering his tough past, and thinks he is remarkable for staying so positive despite everything. She admits she trusts him, but as a government official, she still has to report what happened. Junho says he totally gets it, but internally he is already planning his next move. He scratches his head, looking stressed, thinking he might actually have to leave Jinyu City if the higher-ups come knocking. He pulls something out, deciding not to let her leave empty-handed after she has been so good to him. He hands her a purple-bound book, congratulating her on her first advancement. It is a nice gesture, but wait until she sees the stats. Junho gives her a warm smile, truly valuing her support throughout all those years when everyone else thought he was trash. Yojin is completely caught off guard, not expecting a gift from her student. Junho tells her it is just some loot he picked up and insists she takes it. Man is just out here handing out legendary gear like it is lunch money. It is the Sacred Wings Belt, an epic rarity item that boosts willpower and grants instant casting for holy spells. This thing is cracked. Yojin's eyes are wide, realizing she could save countless lives in critical moments with instant cast healing. She tries to refuse, but Junho is already halfway out the door, insisting it is just loot. Sure, buddy. Regular loot for a god, maybe. Junho walks away with a casual wave, leaving a stunned Yojin behind so he can catch up with his friend. Yojin watches him go, clutching the belt and wondering what kind of powerhouse he is actually becoming. She's finally starting to ask the right questions about how he can just hand out epic gear like it is nothing. Cut to the Hunter office, where Yojin is meeting with the lead investigator and So-Ayon. The atmosphere is heavy. So-Ayon is staring at the remains of the shattered stone, having never seen anything get literally pulverized like this before. So-Ayon brings up a scary thought about what might happen if they treat Junho as an enemy. Poking the bear could get very ugly. Yojin looks concerned, standing there while the high-ranking officials debate the fate of her favorite student. The lead investigator decides to drop the investigation completely, realizing it is just too risky. She explains that Junho is already beyond their scope, and instead of making an enemy, they should be trying to win him over. Smart move. She is basically sealing Junho's secret by suspending all investigations and locking down every bit of info they have. Yojin agrees instantly, knowing this is the best way to protect the young man from the vultures at headquarters. If Junho will not give up his secrets, they decide to just dig into that elite fighter who follows him instead. 2 birds, 1 stone. Later that night, Junho is back home with the lights on, but he is far from relaxed. Do-young is sitting there looking all serious and dramatic, noting that Junho does not look too happy. Junho checks a text from Ms. Yojin saying the higher-ups dropped the investigation. That should be good news, right? Do-young asks the obvious question, wondering if that is a good thing, but Junho's face says otherwise. He is worried about leveling up because clearing dungeons causes a huge scene and draws government attention. It is a real headache for a guy trying to stay low-key. Do-young gets it, realizing that Junho's problems are on a completely different level from ordinary folks. Clearing a dungeon and worrying about the fame is a total Chad problem. Do-young suggests a solution of leveling up in dungeons that are not officially approved by the government. Now we are talking. Scene transition to a dark, misty forest at night where the unregulated dungeons hide. Do-young explains that anomalies have spawned new dungeons everywhere, and the government cannot manage them, so they are basically a free-for-all. Yunho gives a small smirk, ready to do some unauthorized clearing. Do-young looks sharp, saying he knows of maybe 2 right now. Having a high-level scout is really paying off. Junho gives him the go-ahead, since moving around as Do-young will be way easier than as a student. He checks his VIP black card, determined to reach the top. As long as he is leveling with dark magic, he will not fall behind anyone. The night is over, and Do-young heads out, saying he will stay at a hotel for now and start house hunting tomorrow. He's sticking around for the long haul. A guy in a suit calls out to Do-young. Looks like the local bigwigs want a word with our silver-haired friend. It is the mayor of Jinyu City, Zhang Huiyul, thanking Do-young for his help, because everyone thinks he was the hero of the hour. Do-young is acting professional but keeping his guard up as the mayor asks if he is planning to stay in the city long-term. The mayor is all smiles, really laying on the charm and saying they would be more than happy to have a powerhouse like him there. He hands Do-young a special hunter ID issued by the city, granting very high-level privileges, basically a get-out-of-jail-free card. Do-young takes the card curiously, just thinking about how much this will help Junho's goals. The mayor mentions other cities tried to recruit him, but Jinyu is not letting their prize leave without a fight. Do-young accepts it gladly, officially becoming Jinyu City's new favorite son. They shake hands, finalizing the deal. The mayor has no idea that the powerhouse he just hired is just a henchman for the guy he stopped investigating. Do-young walks away, thinking that Junho might actually need these special privileges someday. He is playing the long game. Cut to a chibi version of a government worker completely unaware of anything about Junho. Ms. Ian really came through with that cover-up. The scene shifts to a hotel building at night. Do-young is checking in, while the same chibi worker is in the background, perfectly ending a very productive day. Another late night and another victory screen. Junho is out here securing the win in his mobile game while everyone else is probably sleeping. He finally checks the clock and realizes it is way past his bedtime. Even a future god of magic needs his beauty sleep. But before he can hit the hay, his class group chat is absolutely blowing up. It is like a digital dumpster fire in the middle of the night. The chat is a mess of people comparing levels and stressing out thinking they are hot stuff at level 27. Junho just stares at the ceiling, thinking about how he's already left them in the dust in just a few days. The level gap is real. Of course, there is always that one guy, Lee Dae-young, who has nothing better to do than call Junho out for gaming non-stop, projecting much. Junho is looking at his phone like it is a piece of moldy bread, not giving a damn about what some fanboy thinks of his account status. Thankfully, Ms. Yojin enters the chat and shuts him down instantly, telling him to worry about himself. Get roasted, kid. Junho cannot help but crack a smile, since Ms. Yojin is a real one for always having his back against the haters. His expression hardens as he remembers the state of the world. Things are moving fast and he needs to stay ahead of the curve. The chat continues talking about a mysterious powerhouse who took down monsters in the city as rumors spread like wildfire. Junho is having a yikes moment, realizing he's been so focused on his own grind that he ignored how bad the world anomalies have gotten. He thinks back to the battle, frustrated that he missed the chance to permanently finish off that mysterious opponent. Big mistake. He reaches his apartment door, but the bad vibes are following him home. Something is definitely watching him from the shadows. Wait, is that a tiny gargoyle thing sneezing? Seriously, even the monsters in this neighborhood are having a rough day. Deep in a dark sanctuary, a hooded figure with glowing red eyes is lurking. This looks like the classic evil council meeting we see in every fantasy story. The next morning, we are back at the Central Exchange. The building looks impressive, but the people inside not so much. Seol A is standing there looking like she has not slept in a week, hanging on by a thread between work stress and hospital bills. The mean receptionist is back and already breathing down Seol, as Neck not letting her work in peace for even a minute. She starts mocking Seol A, asking if she is dying to run off and see An Junho. The jealousy is just leaking out of her. Seol A snaps back, telling her that is not true at all. She is embarrassed, but she's not going to let this bully win. The receptionist doubles down on being a jerk, calling Junho a petty thief trying to ruin his reputation just for spite. A familiar voice echoes through the hall, warning her to watch her mouth as dark energy starts to swallow up the light. The receptionist keeps acting smug, mentioning how a fourth advancement powerhouse came looking for his gear, convinced he stole it. Junho does not even argue, and just lets his dark aura flare up, sending the truth seeker staggering back in fear. The power level in the room just skyrocketed. Junho is looking down at them like they are ants, and honestly same. The receptionist's face is priceless, staring at Junho like she just saw a ghost. Yeah, the petty thief is here to collect. She panics and starts screaming for security, demanding how he dare use offensive magic inside the exchange. Calm down, lady, you started it. Seol A is terrified for him, telling him to go because security will be there any second. She does not want him getting in deeper trouble. She warns him that crossing the people who run the Central Exchange means his career as a hunter is over. The sound of heavy boots hitting the pavement fills the hallway. The cavalry has arrived, and they do not look friendly. Boss Wang steps out with a full squad of security, wanting to know who is dumb enough to cause trouble in his shop. Junho stands his ground, asking if Boss Wang is the one who dug into his past and branded him a thief. Boss Wang does not even deny it, giving a cold look and saying Junho should know the truth best. The arrogance is off the charts. The security guards close in, ready to drag him out in a classic get-out-of-our-house scene. Junho just sighs, asking if this is how the Central Exchange treats its customers as he reaches into his pocket. He holds out a small gold-trimmed card, and the security guards stop dead in their tracks like they just hit a brick wall. Boss Wang and the receptionist are having a collective stroke, realizing that is their exchange's VIP black card. Junho just stands there looking like $1,000,000, mentioning that Mayor Cha's little gift actually carries some weight. Boss Wang is foaming at the mouth, demanding to know where he got it. Junho just tells him to figure it out himself since he is so good at background checks. The receptionist is in total despair, realizing she just called a VIP, a thief, in front of her boss. That is a career-ending loss right there. Boss Wang is not wasting time, telling the receptionist to keep an eye on Junho while he steps away to make an urgent call. Security is just standing there awkwardly while the VIP waits. The tension in the lobby is thick enough to choke on. Boss Wang is on the phone with Mayor Cha, and let us just say the mayor is getting a full-blown earful for messing with his guest. The mayor's father was a founder of the exchange, so when he yells, people listen. Boss Wang is sweating enough to fill a swimming pool. He tries to explain, it is a minor misunderstanding, but the mayor is not having it. He went out of his way to build goodwill, and Wang just torched it. The mayor is screaming now, calling him an idiot, and saying he is coming over personally. Boss Wang looks like he is about to faint. The call ends with a click, leaving Boss Wang in a state of absolute terror, wondering what kind of relationship Junho has with the mayor. The chapter ends with a split shot of Do Young looking cool as hell in the rain, while Boss Wang looks like he is ready to jump off a bridge. Total win for Junho. Junho and Seol A are chilling in the Central Exchange VIP room. It is a huge upgrade from the lobby, but the atmosphere is still super tense after that earlier drama. Suddenly, the doors fly open, and Mayor Cha Dong-yong and Do Young come charging in like they are late for a raid. The mayor looks like he's about to have a heart attack. Junho is totally unfazed, asking what brings them there. Bro acts like he did not just cause a citywide panic a few chapters ago. Seol A is losing her mind, recognizing the mayor and that high-level hunter from the dungeon break. She is starting to realize her rookie customer is kind of a big deal. Do Young and the mayor loom over the investigation team like final bosses. You can practically see the fear radiating off the bad guys now. The meme receptionist is having a full-blown existential crisis, wondering why the most powerful men in the city are treating this thief like a king. Boss Wang and the receptionist are officially cooked. They look completely ruined, and honestly, it is exactly what they deserve for being so toxic. The mayor asks Junho if he is really not going to accept their apology. Junho is cold as ice, seeing no genuine remorse, just people scared of losing their jobs. Mayor Cha has seen enough telling them to pack their stuff and get out immediately. He is cleaning house, and he is starting with the trash. The pair is frozen in shock, going from top of the world to unemployed in record time. The receptionist starts screaming in despair as reality hits. She really thought she was untouchable, but Junho just pulled the rug out from under her. Security steps in and drags them away, finally bringing some peace and quiet to the VIP lounge. A close-up of the VIP logo shows Junho has officially secured his status. This card is going to open a lot of doors and probably break a few too. The mood calms down as they all sit for tea. CLA is serving the mayor, probably still processing the fact that she is in the room where it happens. Mayor Cha gives a formal thank you, knowing that without Junho and Do Young, the city would have been a crater by now. He promises the exchange will fully support CLA from now on. Big win for CLA. The mayor is a politician, but he seems genuinely kind here, encouraging her to keep up the good work. CLA is basically glowing with gratitude, finally getting the recognition and the job security she needs to help her family. Junho apologizes for the trouble he caused, but the mayor shuts that down immediately, saying the city was in real danger and he's just glad they were there. Mayor Cha leans in, asking if any of the rare items they saw earlier caught Junho's eye, basically offering a shopping spree. Junho gets a serious look, asking if the mayor has ever heard of N times remains. That is a very specific and very ominous request. The mayor's eyebrows shoot up, having never heard that term before, which is saying something for a guy in his position. Even Do Young is stumped, looking at Junho like he is speaking ancient Sumerian. Junho laughs it off, saying he just saw it on the internet and got curious. Yeah, sure, buddy. Totally. Just a casual search. Flashback to Junho at home, experimenting with a new skill book Ms. Yo Jin gave him called Spirit Extraction. It is a mage-type book meant for recovering MP, but when it touches Junho's dark magic, it starts to mutate. A massive surge of blue energy erupts as the system fuses the light and dark into something new. He unlocks the passive spirit infusion, converting residual power from N times remains directly into permanent stats. He found his new power-up method. Back to the present. Junho is deep in thought, needing those remains if he wants to keep this exponential growth going. He lets out a big yawn, since saving cities and negotiating with mayors is tiring work even for an overpowered protagonist. Mayor Cha says they are in a bit of a rush, but asks them to visit again soon for a proper welcome, officially building the bridge. Time to move. They activate a flight scroll and Junho and Do Young blast off into the morning sky. No more walking like peasants. Close-up of the scroll burning up. That is a lot of money literally going up in smoke, but it is worth it for the travel time. They land in Jinyu City and walk toward Do Young's luxurious villa. Looks like Do Young is living the high life. The villa is absolutely stunning, showing that Jinyu City really takes care of its high-level hunters. Junho is impressed, wondering aloud if the city gave him this place, starting to see the perks of being a public hero. Do Young offers it to him, telling Junho he should just move in, and Do Young will find another place. What a bro. Junho declines, wanting to stay low-key for now, since moving into a 4th advancement villa is not exactly incognito. Do Young then offers him straight-up cash, but Junho just laughs because he has his own mountain of crystals. Junho's got a plan, knowing if he clears out his loot at the exchange, he could buy his own villa in cash tomorrow. He's playing the long game. He takes a long, satisfied gulp of his drink, deciding luxury life definitely suits him better than the orphanage. He sighs in relief, finally relaxing and feeling like he has actually earned a moment of peace. Do Young mentions there is an exclusive chef assigned to the villa who should be arriving soon. Okay now, Junho is definitely interested. Suddenly, Do Young's phone starts vibrating because duty calls even in a luxury villa. It is Mayor Zhang Huiyol of Jinyu City calling with some urgent news. The mayor mentions an investigation team is looking into the recent city incidents, asking for Do-young's cooperation. Do-young's face goes serious, already thinking about how to protect Yunho's secret while listening. Yunho looks over curious because he can tell from Do-young's expression that something big is brewing. Do-young replies saying he does not have any free time today, prioritizing Junho over the government. The mayor is cool with it, saying it is not urgent and to just contact them later. Crisis averted for now. Junho wonders about the investigation team, knowing it is only a matter of time before the government finds something. The chapter ends with an ominous silhouette of a mysterious powerhouse looming over the horizon. Close up on those red eyes. Whoever this is, they look like they could eat a monarch for breakfast. We are kicking things off in a high-stakes conference room where the big shots are hiding behind heavy double doors. Inside, the mood is definitely tense, as the whole council gathers to figure out how to stop the next magical apocalypse. The boss lady adjusts her glasses and firmly says no, clearly not taking any nonsense today. This scarred dude is not happy, questioning why this mystery man is being hailed as the city's savior. The administrator sticks to the facts that the mutant was taken out and the dungeon break was stopped. It is a clean story, maybe a bit too clean. Our guy is not buying it for 1 second, noting that the damage pattern from each break is totally different and smelling a cover-up. He pushes even harder, bringing up the Monarch-class entity and wanting to know where this mystery man was hiding when things hit the fan. The admin lady just closes her eyes and stays silent, hiding Junho's existence while the pressure builds up fast. Ms. Yojin is sitting right there looking like she is about to have a nervous breakdown over faking government data. Suddenly, the door flies open with a report that Do-young is too busy to show up. Someone really needs to teach him about professional etiquette. Scarface is absolutely losing his mind, ranting about how free hunters are just one big annoying headache. He decides to take matters into his own hands and take over the investigation. This dude is bad news for anyone trying to keep a secret. The scene shifts to the gloomy graveyard deep in the middle of the night, looking like the perfect setting for a low-budget horror flick. A heavy metal boot comes down, crushing a branch underfoot. Someone powerful just stepped onto the scene, and they are not here to play. The guards are instantly on edge, demanding to know who is there. I would be shaking too, hearing footsteps in that thick fog. It is our favorite hater from the meeting, giving them a casual hello and looking way too comfortable in this graveyard. He tells the guards he is doing an inspection, and they do not have the guts to say no to a high-ranking investigator like him. He walks deeper into the spooky woods alone, apparently knowing exactly where the bodies are buried. He checks out the destruction Junho left behind, trying to figure out how much raw power it takes to wreck a dungeon this badly. He can still feel the pure and intense residual dark magic, and is actually enjoying it. A sinister grin spreads across his face, stating he is really looking forward to this. He is giving off some major psycho villain vibes. His hand is starting to smoke with dark energy. Plot twist: our government investigator is secretly a mutant himself. A terrifying demonic silhouette looms behind him in the shadows. He is not here to investigate. He is here to harvest Junho's leftover power. He lets out a maniacal laugh, vowing to make all that power his own. This dude is definitely the next sub-boss our hero has to stomp. Meanwhile, back at Do-young's luxury villa, the vibe is a lot more peaceful under the full moon. No demons here yet. Junho is just hanging out on the sofa, grinding in his mobile game and reminding himself to keep a low profile. Then the system notification pops up, detecting end times remains. Guess the universe has other plans for his lazy night in. Blue electricity starts sparking around him as he feels a strange force linking up with his magic, like a magical GPS just turned on. He gets that look in his eyes, knowing if he focuses, he can pinpoint exactly where that loot is hiding. He jumps up, ready to head out, because when a legendary artifact calls your name, you do not keep it waiting on voicemail. Junho throws his jacket on in a blur, going from couch potato to elite hunter in under 5 seconds. Do-young pops his head and wondering where he is headed at this time of night. He is a bit too loyal sometimes. Junho just tosses him his tablet, telling him to clear the match while he is gone. He is really using an S-rank hunter as a personal gain leveler. The scene cuts to cars zooming down the highway as Junho is on the move, closing the distance to his target. He is in a taxi, obsessively checking the map on his tablet, seeing the signal coming from right near the graveyard where he fought before. His eyes widen as he sees the dot moving. This is not just a dropped item, someone or something is carrying it. Back at the dungeon entrance, a literal nightmare has appeared. A giant, multi-eyed monster is staring down the terrified guards. The guards are losing their minds, asking what that thing is. It looks like a giant bug from hell, and it is definitely not on the guest list. The monster lunges forward and grabs a person in its mandibles. It is absolute carnage at the gate, and there is no one strong enough to stop it. Close up on the victim, covered in blood and begging for help. This monster is a total savage. The local police have blocked off the entire bridge, causing a massive traffic jam as everyone tries to flee the disaster zone. Hunters are turning people away, shouting that it is too dangerous ahead. The city's defense line is falling apart fast. Junho gets out of his cab because the road is blocked, telling the driver he will walk the rest of the way, dedicated to the grind. He watches the signal on his device note. It stopped for a moment, realizing he is practically right on top of it now. A massive monster limb looms over the trees like a biological skyscraper. Whatever Junho is tracking it is absolutely gargantuan. A huge pillar of dark energy erupts in the distance, lighting up the rainy sky. The final showdown is about to begin. The admin lady and her team arrive at the scene of the blast, completely stunned by the level of destruction, wondering what on earth happened there. Back in the council room, the atmosphere is heavy. De-Young is doing his best to stall, telling the high-ranking officials they need to give up on meeting his master. He tells them flat out that his master is humble and hates attention. He's doing a great job protecting Junho's secret identity while making him sound like a total legend. Transition to Do-Young sitting in the luxury villa. He's actually feeling pretty good because they agreed to blame the mysterious powerhouse for everything. He knows that with zero evidence, the government cannot legally investigate Junho. He is looking pretty smug about his legal maneuvering. The suit from the investigators team looks defeated, knowing they are missing out on a huge opportunity to cling to a powerhouse like that. Do-Young just gives them the line that he is watching over the city, so they do not need to worry. So Ayun is deep in thought, knowing all along that Do-Young was hiding someone special. She is way smarter than the other administrators. Yo-Jin is wondering if the mystery man is older than Junho, trying to bridge the gap between the student she knows and the monster hunter she suspects. Cut back to Junho's home where the moon is out and everything seems peaceful. Junho is taking a shower, reflecting on his find that the end times remains were the leftover scraps of a dead dungeon demon king. That is some heavy lore for a Tuesday. He remembers the flashes in his head filled with actual shards of the demon king's memories. This is way more than just a stat boost. It is a history lesson from hell. He stops to think, wondering what he would even use this for, since he is not planning to become a demon king. He has a realization that knowing the enemy's memories is basically a cheat sheet for the upcoming war. Flashback to the Demon King's era, showing that if you fail to stop a dungeon break, the whole world gets wiped out. It is a grim reminder of why he needs to keep growing. The memory shows massive monsters tearing apart cities, while high advancement hunters are rare. The power balance was completely broken. Junho realizes that humanity's current path leads straight to extinction, and being the only survivor in a world of monsters is not exactly the goal. He decides he needs to collect more remains and gather intel to help the outsiders stop the dungeon breaks taking on the weight of the world now. But he knows he has to be careful because this level of knowledge could cause mass panic if he is not smart about how he shares it. Suddenly his phone rings and it is Ha Yunseo, causing a total mood shift. Junho answers with a huge grin, asking what has her in such a good mood. A system pop-up confirms she hit 100% on her S-rank quest and successfully advanced her class. Yunseo is glowing on the other side of the line, telling him dinner is on her tonight and he has to come with no excuses. Junho jokes about turning down free food, acting like he is doing her a favor by accepting. He's a total dork. They make a promise, and Yunseo says she will send the location later. This is definitely going to be an interesting night out. Cut to the guild base where Yunseo is walking out while her guildmates watch her from the stairs. The vibe has definitely changed. The priestess and the berserker are throwing a mini-party congratulating her on her second advancement. They are genuinely happy for her. They are all throwing confetti and cheering in a wholesome moment for a guild that is usually way more dysfunctional. Even Sung-hoon is trying to be polite, commenting on how fast she reached the second advancement while definitely trying to hide his jealousy. He mentions he booked the best restaurant in the city to celebrate together, really laying on the charm again, hoping for a date. Yunseo shuts him down cold, apologizing and saying she already has plans tonight. Total rejection in front of the whole squad. Sung-hoon is stunned and tries to convince her to push her plans back, but she is not budging. She tells him it is something important, and just like that, she walks away, leaving them in the dust. Sung-hoon is absolutely fuming, staring at her back with his face contorted in rage, thinking she is acting differently just because she hit S-rank. The berserker tells him to calm down, saying she probably has a good reason, but Sung-hoon is too deep in his own salt to listen. The berserker asks if it is exhausting always trying to keep up with a genius like her, finally addressing the elephant in the room. Sung-hoon looks up with hard eyes, realizing the gap between them is only going to widen from here on out. The pink-haired priestess is actually getting pretty emotional, knowing deep down that Yunseo is reaching a level where the rest of the party will not be able to follow. Yunseo just keeps walking away into the sunset. She has officially transcended her old life, and her former team can only watch as she enters a completely different world. Fast forward to dinner, and Junho is finally relaxing. He is digging into some cheap fried chicken, and it looks absolutely delicious. Yunseo is right there with him, thanking him for the badge and admitting it was a total game changer for her quest. Junho gets deep into the lore in his own head. He realizes the system is actually holding everyone back from their optimal forms. She asks the million-dollar question about where he found a legendary item like that. Junho just gives her the classic, unbothered shrug. She wishes she could buy more badges for the rest of her party. Honestly, Yunseo is way too pure for this world. Junho thinks the exact same thing. She's not changed one bit, always trying to include everyone else in her wins. She tells him not to slack on his own leveling, pointing out that if he finds a badge for himself, he could unlock a crazy new class too. Junho hits her with the ultimate lazy excuse, saying leveling is a pain and she can just protect him instead. The look on her face is absolutely priceless. Yeah, she is not amused. Bro just suggested becoming a professional carry target and she is giving him the deadliest side-eye in history. Junho notices something is off. He drops the lazy act immediately and asks her what is wrong. She clutches her arm and tries to act tough, claiming she just got a bit banged up during her quest. He stands up immediately, completely shocked she did not get healed after surviving an S-rank run. She brushes it off, but we all know she is hurting. He realizes S-rank advancement quests are way more brutal than he thought. Even a certified genius like Yunseo barely made it out in one piece. Right then, his phone starts buzzing on the table. Someone is calling from a restricted number. Junho picks up and immediately gets hit with some serious attitude from a guy asking to confirm his name. The voice refuses to identify himself and just demands to know where the badge came from. Big mistake, buddy. Junho tells Yunseo it is just some random guy with an attitude problem. He is completely unbothered by the threat. He tells her to ignore it and focus on eating her food. Prioritizing fried chicken over a literal death threat is peak protagonist behavior. The phone keeps ringing and the voice on the other end is getting desperate, warning Junho to listen while he is still being nice. Junho just hangs up with a smug grin. He knows this guy is all bark and no bite. He assures Yunseo the call was not important and goes right back to his meal. The vibe is perfectly chill again. Dinner wraps up, and Junho heads back to his apartment, genuinely looking forward to a long sleep. He opens his front door and freezes in his tracks. Something is very wrong here. His entire room has been completely tossed. Books are everywhere, and furniture is smashed. A blonde guy is standing in the middle of the wreckage holding a book, acting like he owns the place. Junho goes ice cold and asks if this is the punk who called earlier. He is not even scared, he is just deeply annoyed about his messy room. The intruder starts monologuing about how Junho should have been polite on the phone. This guy actually thinks he's the main character right now. He starts laughing and calls Junho a piece of trash, demanding respect for his superiors. This guy is practically begging for a beatdown. Suddenly, an assassin lunges out of the shadows for a backstab. The whole break-in was an ambush. Junho dodges as a literal blur. His reaction speed is completely off the charts now. He easily catches the assassin's wrist mid-swing. That permanent speed boost is really paying off. He slams the guy into the floor with enough raw force to shatter the tiles. The blonde leader is losing his absolute mind. He cannot comprehend how a 1-star mage just manhandled a 3-star assassin like a toddler. Junho casually straightens his jacket and tells them they need to mind their manners if they want to question a powerhouse. He realizes that massive stat boost from the badge is even crazier than he thought. He does not even need to cast magic to break these guys in half. The blonde guy realizes he is in way over his head and tries to sprint for the door. Way too slow. Junho is already standing right behind him. He grabs the guy and slams his face directly into the ground. That is the price for messing up his apartment. Junho stands over the broken thug looking like an absolute menace, letting him know he is not leaving until he cleans up the room. He points directly at his shattered bookshelf and demands payment. Extorting thugs for furniture money mid-fight is peak Junho behavior. The guy is literally crying as he empties his pockets to pay for the damages. His spirit is completely broken. Junho finally gets down to business and asks who sent them. The dark interrogation has officially begun. The thug spills everything immediately. It was Jo Sung-hoon from the Lion of Purge Guild, desperate for information on the legendary badge. Junho decides to test out a new dark spell called Soul Hijack. It is time to turn this pathetic pawn into a double agent. The blonde guy's eyes glow a wicked purple as the dark magic rewires his brain. He is officially Junho's personal puppet now. Later that night, Sung-hoon and his lackeys are creeping through a park looking like classic cartoon villains. Sung-hoon is bragging about sending those assassins to give Junho a fate worse than death. This guy is genuinely unhinged over getting rejected. One of his lackeys gets nervous about Yunseo finding out. Sung-hoon just snaps at him, completely blinded by his obsession with stealing that power for himself. They hatch a brilliant plan to unleash a boss on Yunseo so Sung-hoon can swoop in and play the hero. Textbook scumbag behavior. Suddenly, the hijacked blonde guy appears out of thin air. Sung-hoon gets startled and yells at him for sneaking around. Sung-hoon asks if he extracted the information from Junho, fully believing his master plan is working perfectly. The hijacked puppet just smirks and repeats Sung-hoon's confession about hurting Yunseo on purpose. The tables are about to turn hard. Hale is heading upstairs to test out the potion, leaving Junho to hang back and wait for the results. He yells down for someone to bring him a drink. This dude is totally in mad scientist mode now. Downstairs, Yunseo and the priestess are just waiting on the couch, having no idea what kind of world-changing chaos is being brewed right above them. Suddenly, a massive burst of blue light and smoke pours down the stairwell. Something definitely worked, or something went horribly wrong. The group looks up completely startled while the priestess asks the obvious question about what the hell is happening up there. They decide they cannot just sit around and wait anymore, knowing it is time to go check out the explosion for themselves. Hale is already heading back down, holding a test tube glowing with an intense blue light. He looks like he just discovered fire for the first time. He shows off a special slime he uses for his experiments that is about to become the most important lab rat in history. He splashes the potion onto the creature and it instantly erupts into a massive pillar of golden flames. Talk about a reaction. The entire group is absolutely floored with shock and awe written all over their faces as they stare at the flickering light. Hale is cheering like a maniac, shouting about his success and claiming it worked perfectly. He points a finger forward with his glasses, reflecting the magical glow, confirming a real 100% boost. This is going to break the entire hunter economy. Yunseo and the priestess are still struggling to process the news, with question marks practically floating around their heads in confusion. Hale grabs Junho by the shoulders, completely losing his professional composure because he is beyond hyped. He confirms that the potion actually doubled the EXP gains during the test, making it the holy grail of leveling items. Junho gives a dark, satisfied smirk in the shadows, knowing those recipes were the real deal, and noting that the others should work too. Hale is so energized he starts casting a fireball just to let off some steam. Calm down, buddy, you are gonna burn the villa down. He accidentally blows up a corner of his own lab while the girls can only watch from the back, wondering how they ended up with these two lunatics. The room practically vibrates as the girls shout in unison. A 100% EXP boost potion is not just a game changer, it is a market-shattering miracle. Junho just gives a calm, smug little nod, casually handing out recipes for liquid gold like it is just a regular Tuesday. Yoonhale tries to act like the responsible one, telling everyone to keep it down, but the priestess instantly calls him out for being the loudest one there. Haeil asks Junho about the big picture, realizing selling this stuff would make them more money than most hunters see in a lifetime. Junho goes quiet and stares off into space, calculating his moves and knowing that this potion is the key to building his own private army. Right in the middle of his deep thoughts, his pocket starts buzzing like a hive of angry bees. Perfect timing for a distraction. He pulls out his phone and sees a new message popping up on the screen. It is a massive announcement in the class group chat from Ms. Yo-jin stating all third years are heading out for official dungeon hunts starting next Monday. The chat is already a disaster zone, with students panicking because potions are sold out everywhere and the training grounds are overcrowded. Junho looks at the screen with a sharp, predatory gaze, realizing the chaos in the chat is exactly the opportunity he was looking for. He decides to play favorites, telling the group he will let his close friends use the first batch of potions before selling any to the public. The girls are instantly on board as the priestess leans in with a huge, sparkling grin, asking if she made it onto that exclusive VIP list. She declares that she and Yunseo will be his personal bodyguards from now on. Having two high-tier beauties protecting you is a pretty good deal for some juice. Junho thinks about the storm he is about to cause. Huge profits are coming, but so are the pests like Sunghoon. He is ready for the swarm. He stares forward with his eyes glowing with dark intent, deciding that if anyone gets any funny ideas later, he will make sure they never try it again. Junho remembers the party's tanky berserker Kyungho and suggests they should slide him an EXP potion too, since he is part of the squad. The girls are totally down for it, mentioning Kyungho was stressing out yesterday about making it into a top-tier university. Junho thinks Kyunho is a beast and a close friend of Yunseo, so keeping him strong is a smart tactical move for the future. Yoonhale leans in, asking Junho if he happens to have any more of those legendary tier recipes hidden away. Junho casually confirms it, and Haeil starts looking over the notes like he is trying to decipher ancient runes. Ail's face says it all in complete and utter shock. He recognizes the ingredients, but admits they are way above his current skill level to actually brew. Junho realizes recipes from a literal demon king's memories would not be easy for a human. Just having a few simplified versions is more than enough to break the game for now. Yunseo is already planning the next road trip, wanting to call Kyungho and go hunting as a full squad once the potions are ready. Then she turns to Junho and drops the absolute bomb that he is coming too. Bro looks like he just saw his entire weekend plans go up in smoke. He is internally crying, wondering why he is getting dragged into this when he just wanted to sleep and stay undercover. Haeil mentions the guild already approved party-based dungeon runs for the teams they organize. Looks like there is no escaping this social outing for our boy. They start doing the math, realizing 1 week of non-stop brewing should be enough to gear up the entire party with enough juice to level up fast. Junho is just slumped over on the couch, looking like he has given up on life, completely ignored by his friends. Cut to Monday morning. The sun is shining and Jinyu City is ready for a massive dungeon event. Junho is waiting at the park with Do-young, who is on the phone handling some elite business stuff and saying they will be back soon. The school bus rolls past the intersection filled with students who are actually excited about this training. The students inside spot Junho standing on the sidewalk, confused why the class trash is just hanging out while everyone else is headed to the grind. Lee Dae-young is in the back laughing like a cartoon villain, saying Junho is only good for running errands and would probably die instantly in a dungeon. The timer at the crossing ticks down with 30 seconds until the transition from student life to dungeon warfare. Junho is walking with his suitcase, completely ignoring the haters and just wishing he could have caught some extra sleep instead. They arrive at the massive purple rift of the dungeon entrance, where it is absolute peak hour for the local hunters. The bus drops off the class, showing a sea of students and security all ready to clear some floors for their final grades. Ms. Yojin delivers the bad news that the wait time to enter is at least 2 hours, causing a collective groan from the exhausted students. The students are complaining about the heat, but Yojin tells them they are actually lucky to even get a slot this early. Suddenly, one of the guys points into the distance, noticing Junho over there, and the classmates are starting to smell something fishy. Junho is casually strolling with the Lion of Purge elite squad, while Do-young and Yunseo lead the way. The classmates are losing it, wondering why he gets to go in without lining up. Life is not fair when you are a VIP, kids. Yojin explains to the confused crowd that the guild sponsored Junho, so they are heading straight for the deeper, more dangerous layers. The students are fuming with pure jealousy, unable to handle the loser getting special treatment while they rot in a lime. Enter a tall, hooded warrior, asking the student if the Yunseo they are talking about is the Ha Yunseo. This guy has some serious presence. The student is shaking like a leaf, stammering out a yes, clearly terrified by the raw aura coming off this stranger. The warrior is revealed with silver hair and red glowing armor, declaring he came to the right place and is ready to go. The gate opens with a flash of energy, and the mysterious pro walks in without even acknowledging the crowd. The students are annoyed by the attitude, but they are too scared to say anything to his face. One of the girls realizes who they are, identifying them as famous names on the top newcomers' nationwide ranking. Introduction time for the nationwide elite, starting with rank 4 Jang Geul, looking elegant and powerful in flowing purple robes. Rank 3 is Kang Cheolung, who is a literal mountain of a man with a sword that could cleave a city block in half. He looks ready to smash some heads. And finally, rank 2 Quan Juan, the silver-haired edgelord himself. This training exercise just became a whole lot more dangerous for everyone involved.